today. How disappointing is that? No co-host Poppers is going to be here. I know you're sad. I'm sad. But I am hyped for the NFL draft, my guys. It's going to be so much fun to watch. I am so excited. So excited to do this here with you guys. I haven't done a live stream of the draft before. I've done some analysis beforehand. I've talked a little bit of it afterhand, but I haven't done a live stream with you guys yet. And I think it's going to be so much fun to do a live stream with everyone. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to really enjoy it being here with you guys. I'm here for it. So let's go over real quick. Jacksonville's picking first. Everyone knows Jacksonville's picking first. So let's go over Jacksonville roster and what they need. Everyone knows that they're going to pick Trevor Lawrence. Everyone really kind of knows that. But I think it's important that we look at their other needs too, because they do have another pick in the draft this year. So let's just start with the most obvious one, is their quarterback need. Gardner Minshew is not an ideal quarterback, but he's a pretty good backup. He's a good backup quarterback, not a good starter, but a good backup. He can win you a couple of games. Running back, I think that's a pretty solid position for them. James Robinson is one of my favorite running backs. Thank you, James Robinson. You were a great pickup midway through my fantasy season, and you really helped me make a playoff push. We didn't quite make it to the championship. The playoff push was it was unlikely halfway through the season, and you and Antonio Gibson were huge reasons why that late season playoff push worked out perfectly. Wide receiver, I wouldn't say is a desperate need, but I do think they should address it in this draft. DJ Chark is an amazing receiver, like absolutely great receiver. Young, great receiver. Then you have a pretty good older receiver in Marvin Jones Jr., and then the number 3 spot is Laviska Shenault Jr., and I was praising him for a long time before the draft. He was one of my favorite receivers heading into the draft. I didn't think they properly utilized him in Jacksonville with the quarterback like Gardner Minshew. I don't know if you could. I think you pair him with James Robinson, DJ Chark, Marvin Jones Jr., and Trevor Lawrence, and you're going to get some great product. Not to mention Colin Johnson. Very much, he produced. He was a very solid receiver at the end of last year. He was very, very good. He was very solid. And I think I skipped over the fact that they signed Carlos Hyde for agency. That's something a lot of people look over. I think that's a very huge sign because I don't think running backs in need now. I would say you should draft someone to back up James Robinson. Carlos Hyde is a very solid backup. He gets hurt sometimes, so it wouldn't be a bad idea to address that later, maybe 5th or 6th round. But I was thinking maybe a 2nd or 3rd round pick to get another guy back up James Robinson. Carlos Hyde was a perfect signing for that. But again, behind Colin Johnson, there's not really a lot. Agnew has had a decent amount of playing time, but not a lot, not a huge amount, right? And then Philip Dorsett is also not a great receiver, so they have a lot of needs at the wide receiver spot. Tight end wouldn't be an insane position for them to pick, maybe late in the 1st round, maybe even 2nd round to address that. Pat Freiermuth is one of my favorite tight ends in the draft. Obviously, you're not going to get Kyle Pitts as long as you don't pick him number 1 overall. I mean, that would make sense, Jacksonville. But you're not going to get Kyle Pitts. I think Pat Freiermuth is easily the 2nd best tight end in this draft, and I think he might be a 1st round prospect. As a Penn State fan, he was phenomenal with us. I really love Kyle Pitts. I really do. I like him as a player. Their offensive line is an underrated offensive line. Cam Robinson's very solid. Andrew Norwell is a pretty good guard. Brandon Leonard's a good center. Right guard is A.J. Cann, who's he's very solid right guard. And then they have Jawan Taylor, who's everyone's very excited about in Jacksonville because he's growing into his own over there at the offensive tackle spot. So I wouldn't say offensive line is a huge need right now. Eventually, Cam Robinson, Andrew Norwell, Brandon Leonard, A.J. Cann, they're all getting up there in age, so you definitely do need to replace them. But for rookie season, this is a pretty good, solid line in front of Trevor Lawrence. Now, the real issue I have is with the defense. There's some needs here, okay? The defensive end, I think, is pretty solid with Josh Allen and K'Lavon Chaisson. I didn't love K'Lavon Chaisson heading into the draft, but they did draft him in his 1st-round draft pick. You got to let him come into your own. The defensive tackle's a need, but it's not a great class this year, so you might just want to try to draft it in free agency. And they tried to with the signing of Malcolm Brown. That definitely provides some depth. I don't know if he's ready to be a starter yet. Taven Bryan was the 1st-round draft pick a couple years back. I don't know if you guys remember this. He's a starter. Roy Robinson Harris isn't horrible, but again, you want some good young guys on that defensive tackle spot, and they just really don't have it. Linebacker, it's not horrible. Like Joe Schobert's a very solid linebacker. I mean, he's not gonna kill you and be awesome, but he's a very solid linebacker. Miles Jack is always very good. He's a very solid linebacker as well. Leon Jacobs is not a guy I'm very high on, but maybe that's just me. I saw a decent amount of Jacksonville last year. He's not a guy I'm stunned with. He's not a guy I really, really like. I think a linebacker wouldn't be stupid of them to pick up in the first round, especially with guys like Xavier Collins maybe out there that you could try to pick up. Linebacker like Joseph Osai might be slip to there. I don't know if it's slip. You might have to try and get him a little bit early if you're Jacksonville. But Joseph Osai, you got to put him at defensive end or linebacker. He's very good regardless of where you put him. Very good Texas linebacker. And then corner, I think you're pretty solid. Honestly, looking at this depth chart, you got Shaquille Griffin. Very big, very good free agency signing if we're talking about for Jacksonville. In my opinion, one of my favorite. It was one of the better free agent signings of the year, in my opinion. Outside of, I think Kenny Golladay, the Kennedy Golladay signing was huge, and I think that was probably the smartest pickup in free agency I've seen in a while. But I think Shaquille Griffin's one a lot of people overlook. But he was a very solid corner in Seattle. He was very good. And then not to mention you drafted C.J. Henderson in the first round last year at Florida. He's a very solid corner as well. I really want to leave him get into his own. And Trey Herndon's not a bad depth corner. Safety isn't great. Rayshon Jenkins and Jared Wilson are not guys that you are going to be floored by. They're not fantastic. I mean, I'm not going to say that they suck, but they're just not that great of prospects. I mean, they're not going to go into their own. They're pretty old. I mean, it's just they're not great players in their own right. So I think it wouldn't be insane for the Jaguars to address that concern late, especially if Morig, that safety from TCU, is still on the board late. I feel like that would be a smart pickup if you're Jacksonville trying to get a guy to replace him. And then again, linebacker, I would say defensive tackle. I just don't know if it's worth selecting a defensive tackle there, especially with this weak defensive tackle class. Or Christian Barmore might be there. And I don't think that would be a stupid pick if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars. But definitely, number one overall, you're going to pick Trevor Lawrence. So, since it is in commercial break, let's go over Trevor Lawrence's stats real quick, okay? I'm sure as many of you know, undefeated in the regular season. Only 2 losses were in the national championship 2 years back. Yeah, well, wait, not this national championship, but the last national championship against LSU, against Joe Burrow. And I watched that game. It was a lot closer than a lot of people remember, because I remember thinking it was a blowout, but that's really just because after the fourth quarter is where it ran away, but through the most of the third quarter, it was very close, very contested game, and I don't know if Clemson or LSU was going to pull it out. So I remember being way more of a blowout than that. And then you had the Ohio State game, which is weird because Ohio State's defense was nowhere near as good as last year, the year before Ohio State's defense, and they beat them then. So it's definitely odd. And Sean Wade definitely had regressed that year but Justin Fields was just playing out of his mind that game. So I don't know if I blame him too much for that. But again, undefeated in the regular season, only 2 losses as a college player. He is 6'6". Okay, so again, looks the part of a quarterback, 220 pounds, and he's 21 years old. So in 2020, he went 231 for 334 for 69.2% completion percentage. Now, this was one of his better years. It was his worst years yards-wise, though, where he threw 3,153 yards. He threw for 24 touchdowns and 5 picks. 5 picks in a year is not a lot, especially considering I think at least 2 came in the playoff game against Ohio State. In 2019, he threw for 200. He attempted 260. He completed 268 passes out of his 407 that he tried. 65.8% completion rating. So his completion percentage went up as the years went along for him. 3,665 yards. This one I think was his best season. Best season overall. Obviously, 2018 was his best season because he ended up winning the national championship that year. But this one I think was it was a better season. Just overall, for him as a player, I think he played better in the 2019 season than in the 2018 season. He threw for 36 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. So he had 8 interceptions that year. that was his highest number of interceptions. And then in 2018, he went 259 of 397. He for a 65.2% completion percentage. As you can see, it went up as the years went along. It started at 65.2%, then 65.8%, then 69.2%. So it definitely went up as the years went along. He threw for 3,280 yards. Like I said, it wasn't his best year. I think 2019 was definitely his best year statistically. But this was the one where he got the national championship. He threw for 30 touchdowns and 4 picks. So he didn't make a lot of mistakes his freshman year, which is nice to see as a freshman. Again, he didn't turn the ball over that much as a player, just in general. 4 interceptions. I mean, his highest interception season was 8 interceptions. So again, he played for, let's see, it was 14 games. Yeah, 12 in a normal season, 13 for 15. He played 15 games that year, and he only threw 8 picks. Again, I think that's most of a regular season for an NFL team, right? So imagine if heading into your last game of the season, your quarterback could only throw 8 interceptions all year. I feel like a lot of people would be happy and excited about that's how well he did. I feel like we all know what's going to happen number 1 overall. I mean, really, the draft starts at 3. Everyone kind of knows what's going to happen at 1 and 2. 3 is where it gets interesting with San Francisco, but I'm excited to see his name announced, so we know officially he's going to be a Jacksonville Jaguar. I think all the Jacksonville fans are excited because I think they do have a lot to look forward to. Urban Meyer's a great head coach. As a Penn State fan, it really hurts me to say that, but he really is a very good coach. He's one of my favorite. He's very solid. He coaches extremely well, and again, he might not be the best quarterback coach, and I think that's what a lot of people hold against him. I mean, the best quarterback he ever coached, really, is Tim Tebow. All the Ohio State quarterback just didn't work out in the NFL. So I got to say Tim Tebow's probably the best. That's not great if you're talking about wanting to grow a franchise with a new quarterback. That's Trevor Lawrence, this guy right here. But I think it'll be fine. I'm pretty sure Jacksonville is going to do they're going to do just fine with they're going to do just fine with Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer. I think this is a Jacksonville team that you can look out for in a couple of years. Again, they have young receivers and guys like DJ Chark and Laviska Shenault and Colin Johnson, not to mention running back is James Robinson, one of my favorites. You have a young defense with some pretty good younger players. I think this is a Jacksonville team you have to watch out for in a couple of years because they're going to be tough. I don't think they're going to make it this year, but watch out. Sophomores normally make the playoffs. Normally every year there's a sophomore quarterback that makes the playoffs. This year it was an exception, mainly because it was a bad quarterback class. Kyler Murray got hurt at the end of the year, and I honestly think if Kyler Murray's healthy against the Rams, he probably beats the Rams and punches a ticket for the Cardinals to make the playoffs. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. Daniel Jones got hurt midway through the season. He wasn't the same since then, letting Washington make the playoffs. And then those are the only 2 quarters. Well, there's Drew Lock, too. Drew Lock just didn't make the playoffs just because he's not a good quarterback. But Dwayne Haskins, I mean, honestly, 2019 draft class. 2019 quarterback draft class, pretty sucky year for quarterbacks. It was not a good year for quarterback. Kyler Murray's the only one where I think we're going to look back and say he's really good. Now, it's possible Daniel Jones, and I've been talking about this for a long time because I have a really close Giants friend, and I think it's possible that Daniel Jones makes it Josh Allen likely because I think a lot of the signs are there. Josh Allen is a very similar player to Daniel Jones. They both have insane arm strength, and they both, for first and second year, they both made some pretty crucial mistakes. They would throw the ball away. They're both very athletic. They're very, very good at running, huge arms. There's a lot of similarities between the two. And remember, they each progressed every year. And I think you can definitely see the progression from 1 to 2 for Daniel Jones. Now, can Daniel Jones make that huge leap from 2 to 3? And I think that's going to be a big question tonight. Can Daniel Jones make that huge leap? I don't know. I ask you guys, do you think Daniel Jones can make a huge leap, like a Josh Allen-like leap in year 3? Because this is going to be a huge year. I mean, year three is kind of important. If you're not taking your team to the playoffs in year three, I don't think you're doing your job as a quarterback. I think you kind of need to take your team to the playoffs year three if you really want to be considered a top tier quarterback. I mean, Matthew Stafford is a top tier quarterback, and I don't think he took his team to the playoffs year three, but I think that you have to do it if you're Daniel Jones. But I think I got a little bit off track. I think we're supposed to be talking about Jacksonville. How well do you guys think Jacksonville is? Do you think this is a good selection? I think it is. Personally, I think it is a very good selection for Jacksonville. Oh, Jacksonville's clock is just starting. Dang, I've been talking about Jacksonville for literally 15 freaking minutes. What is wrong with you guys? You want to talk about Jacksonville for 9 minutes and 43 seconds more? It should take about 5 seconds for them to get this pick in. I don't know what's taking them so long, but let's talk about Jacksonville some more. You want to go over the roster again? I really don't. I think it's going to be interesting. Jacksonville's one of my favorite. I love the Jaguars mainly because I'm in Florida, so I kind of like most Florida teams except for the Bucs, which are my arch nemesis, and I seriously hope they crumble and burn. That's what I hope. I absolutely despise the Buccaneers. I despise the Falcons. I don't really hate the Panthers as much. Panthers are really not that bad to me. I think they're pretty solid. I don't hate them like really at all. I kind of sympathize with the Panthers because the Panthers, they had a good quarterback and they just kind of blew it under him. They didn't give him the team around him, and I kind of feel like that's what happened under Drew. It's the same thing about the Falcons, by the way. I just can't bring myself to root for the Falcons because I hate them just so much. It's an absolute despise thing for me. I could not detest a team more than I do the Falcons. I mean, I did root for the Patriots in the Super Bowl against the Falcons. That's how much I despise the Falcons. They're the worst. If you've never met a Falcons fan, they are the absolute worst. They're so we're so great. You guys have never won a Super Bowl. How can you be so great but then never win a Super Bowl? That is insane to me. How you can be so full of yourself to think that the Falcons are a great team, and yet you suck. You sucked for many years, and you have never won a Super Bowl. You made it to one, and you guys crumbled. It was the biggest crumble, I think, ever. I think that's pretty fair to say. 28-3, you should win. It's a toss-up. It could go either way. You should win that game. If you are competent at calling plays, that's all I can say. You need to be competent at calling plays, and you should win that game. But unfortunately, Falcons are not competent. They're not a competent team. They're the opposite of competent, actually. They're incompetent. I think it's pretty hilarious as a Saints fan. I despise the Falcons. Not good. Okay, so they're showing some Trevor Lawrence highlights. So I thought I would share this with you guys. Since I am such a dedicated YouTuber, I'm not that dedicated, but because I'm not making money off this stuff. If you guys just get me to 1,000 subscribers, then I can spend a lot more time on this stuff, and I would really like to. I mean, football is really my passion. I love doing it for you guys, and I enjoy this a lot. But you guys could just get me there, get me the subscribers, and then I can tell my mom that I make cash off of this, so then I can do it more. I mean, that's really my ideal goal here is for you guys. It's just to get a little bit of money so that my mom can say she can stop getting on my back about me spending too much of time on this. That's the ideal thing. By the way, if you guys reach 100 views on this thing, 100 views on the live stream, I will reveal what GGB stands for. I know everyone's been wondering it for a long time. I will reveal it. You guys get me to that 100 views on the live stream. Otherwise, it's gonna be a mystery. So I would look out for that. Look out for that. You guys could just get me there to that point, then we can. I lost my train of thought. Then we can reveal what GGB stands for. Oh my God, how long does it take for you to say the name Trevor Lawrence? It's not difficult, Jacksonville. Say the name Trevor Lawrence. Don't walk out there and say the name Sarah Fuller or some dumb thing like that. Say the name Trevor Lawrence. It should not take you 5 minutes to make this decision. It should take you 1 second. It should take you exactly 1 second to figure out, I want to draft Trevor Lawrence. It's not that difficult. It's really not. It's really pretty simple, if I'm going to be honest. Very, very easy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, guys. Okay, so as I was going to say before, since I'm a benevolent YouTuber, I spent a lot of time actually reviewing game tape for all the quarterbacks. I did both running backs that might go in the first round. I did some of the wide receivers. Unfortunately, weirdly enough, if you try to find, so what I tried to do is I tried to find the biggest games these guys played in, right? And unfortunately, if you try to look it up, the 2021 national championship not on there, so I couldn't do that for Justin Fields. So I did the 2020 college football playoff game where he played against Trevor Lawrence. That way I could get rid of both of them that way. So I tried to do that, and then I did for Mac Jones, one of the playoff games. Because, again, the 2021 college football playoff game is not up on YouTube for some reason. But the 2021 Rose Bowl is, so I could do that against Notre Dame. For Trey Lance, I did the national championship he was in for the FCS. And then for I forgot his name. Zach Wilson. For Zach Wilson, I did the Houston game. I know it's not the biggest game he played in, but it was a game where they were being actually played against. They had a tough game against him. It wasn't his best game, but I do think there was definitely a couple things to look for there that I think were pretty special. Then Damian Harris, and you have Travis Etienne, and so let me share that with you guys. I'm excited. Let's do it, guys. We're gonna share this screen. Which one is it? Adelaide is home, guys. So it's Pupper's time. Still 3 minutes and 26 seconds left on the clock. But we're gonna watch some Trevor Lawrence game film. Hi, Adelaide. We're gonna talk about your team in a couple of minutes because it's taken Jacksonville forever to name Trevor Lawrence. It's really not that hard. I don't understand what is taking so long. But let's look at it, guys. We're gonna Adelaide. Poppers. Co-host Poppers, come back. Come back.
There you go.
There you go, baby. Okay, guys. Let's look at some Trevor Lawrence game film. I put this up here for some easy access. So, this is one of my favorite plays that Trevor Lawrence ran. If this is good. Okay, so if you watch this play, yeah, it's being casted, Derek. Don't you worry about that.
Okay.
Right there. Okay, so if you watch this play, Trevor Lawrence draws a guy off sides for LSU. So the offensive line, I don't understand that. I don't know if anyone can explain it to me, where the offensive line just stands still if someone goes off sides. Like, you don't really want to block for your quarterback, right? So he doesn't get absolutely hammered in the backfield. Because I think this does happen to Trevor Lawrence. Like, if they block for him just a little bit, he can throw the ball downfield and not get hammered. But they just don't do anything, which is really weird to me. But watch. Trevor Lawrence throws the ball, dime. That's why I really love Trevor Lawrence's game. Like, that is a perfect throw. He noticed, he drew them off sides, he ran to the outside because the offensive line didn't do anything. They just decided to give up on this particular play. And he threw it deep for a perfect pass. It was a beautiful pass. And that's why I love Trevor Lawrence's game. He's great at noticing what to do on a football field. His arm is amazing. He's very accurate with the football. And he's a complete package. So this is another play I like. This one shows off his legs a little bit more. I think his legs are an important aspect of him. A lot of my comparisons
I think
is
it's an important aspect of any human.
Yeah, I agree, Derek. But what I mean by the legs is his speed. He's a very fast quarterback, which a lot of people overlook. He's kind of like Daniel Jones in that respect. Daniel Jones is remembered a lot for being a little bit murky on decision making. He's not great at that. But a lot of people forget about how fast he is. Honestly, Trevor Lawrence reminds me so much of Aaron Rodgers. It's not even funny. I think he's the next Aaron Rodgers. He is accurate with football. He can throw on the run, and he has a cannon of an arm. So watch this play. He's gonna pump fake, get those guys in the air.
They picked Eli.
The pick is in. They haven't quite made the pick yet. But yeah, you see that scramble? I think it demonstrates what he does extremely well. He pump fake to get him in the air to make sure that they were off balance, and then he ran to pick up 9 yards. It wasn't a huge gain, but I think it's a very important play in the game. They were so afraid of his arm, they jumped in the air, and it got them off balance so he could run and pick up 9 yards in the game. So let's see if they select Trevor Lawrence, or maybe they do something insanely dumb, which Jacksonville does a lot.
Parsons has better.
It's gonna be Trevor Lawrence. Like, I just don't understand why it took
the Jets every year.
Took 10 minutes to figure out that you were gonna pick the guy that everyone knew you were going to pick before the season. Before this even started. Like, everyone knew as soon as the season ended that the Jaguars were going to select Trevor Lawrence, and yet it took him 10 minutes to figure it out. Like, how long does it take? Okay, Poppers, the Jets are on the clock, but let's go over some more Trevor Lawrence film, okay? So, 1947. Let's go over this play. So, it was 2nd and 1. Again, not a huge play. This is the play where you can take a shot for a quarterback, and I think that's what he does here, and I'm very excited about it. So, I think what's impressive is the pocket poise. Like, that's not an easy throw, number one, to make. It's not insanely easy, but it's not insanely difficult. That's not what I'm trying to point out here to you guys. What I'm trying to point out to you is watch him step up in this pocket, because this is what you need with a Jacksonville offensive line. Number 90 gets pressure on him, but if he doesn't step up in that pocket, then there's guys coming around from the edge, there's guys coming up from the middle. He could easily get sacked, but he's able to evade pressure by just navigating the pocket extremely well, and he's able to get this completion downfield to, I believe, T. Higgins. I believe that's Higgins. Oh, wait. Is it Higgins? I don't remember who 5 was last year. So that's a play that I really think is impressive. Yeah.
Have you talked about who you think the Jets are going to pick?
I am going to talk about that in a few seconds, but I got to do a little bit of Trevor Lawrence game film here. Wait, for you guys.
Okay, you only have like 6 minutes.
I have 6 minutes to go over some game film. I really like that. Okay, so here's something. Here's some of his legs again that I think is really impressive.
Escaping is not
Just easy. I mean, he is so fast. He's so much faster than a lot of defenders are. Okay, so 37-17. This is, again, what his legs are so important in this process. Watch. If normal quarterback, that could be an easy sack. But he's able to avoid this pressure, and he throws across, and boom, hits the open receiver. I think that's a very impressive throw, and this is why I love Trevor Lawrence as a prospect. This is one of his bad plays. You have to pick a couple of bad ones to throw in here. This is not a play that I think is extremely good for Trevor Lawrence. Again, this is a good pocket presence. He steps up, but he needed to put that lower. Hey, I know you want to float it over this linebacker, or whoever 9 is, but you got to put it a little bit lower so your guy can catch it. I mean, this was a crucial part of the game. You're up by 3. You can go down here and get a touchdown, and you're up by 10. And this is an important part of the game, and you make a pretty critical error. Okay, so 112-35. Let's go see what happens here. So he runs a little play option, and oh, dang it. We're going to have to watch a Grammarly commercial, guys. These people are all so bad at grammar, it's not even funny.
Come on.
See, this is not going to end up being a catch, but I think this is what is so impressive about Trevor Lawrence's game. Watch. He is able to see, like, all these guys are covered, okay? He throws it in the absolute only spot this guy can make a play. And this guy doesn't end up making the play, but I think that's what is so impressive about Trevor Lawrence as a prospect. Now, there's only 2 more highlights, so let's just go over them real quickly. So, Trevor Lawrence, this is a bad play. It's a bad play. It's behind the guy. It could have easily, if you put it out in front of him, it's it's at least a 5-yard gain. But this is a bad play. It's a very bad play from Trevor Lawrence. You put it behind him, then it's tipped in the air, and this could have easily been picked off. It's a not good play with Trevor Lawrence. It's a mistake. It is a pretty critical mistake too. Like if you're watching this game, because this is a 3rd and 7. You could pick up the first down if this is thrown accurately. Look how much running room this guy has in front of him if this was an accurate ball. But it's behind him, and so he tries to make the catch. That ends up being tipped in the air, and that's almost picked off. So mistake made there by Trevor Lawrence. One last play. This is sometime he's playing hero ball. Again, they're down by 17 points with 4 minutes left. Kind of need to play some hero ball, but he's trying to pick up this first down with all his might. Watch. And the ball just pops out. And this is a mistake you can't make if you're Trevor Lawrence when you're down by 17 points. You can't fumble the ball. I understand what you're trying to do, but it's a mistake. It's a pretty critical mistake, too. But let's talk about the Jets a little bit. The Jets, let's look at their depth chart. Let's talk about what they need to do and stuff like that. Let's go. Throw that one away. We'll come back to it. Actually, we'll come back to it later. So we're going to stare at a different screen now. We're going to look at our roster. I hope you guys are excited. I don't know because it's not really tough. But
I think it's a 0.
It's quite possibly 0. It wouldn't be ideal if it was 0. But let's look at this Jets depth chart, guys.
Yeah, let's just.
The pick is in, so let's do some stuff. Okay, if you did not know, the Jets starting quarterback, if there was no draft, would be a guy named James Morgan. Do you know the name James Morgan? Because most people do not. He was a quarterback out of Florida International last year, a 6th-round draft pick. Yeah, Morgan. And you have Mike White, a guy that used to play for the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. So again, not ideal if you're a fan of the Jets. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm trying. Again, it's got to be a quarterback. I mean, it's 100% going to be a quarterback. The question is, who's it going to be? Zach Wilson is what a lot of people are predicting. I really would like Justin Fields to go to New York because I do think he's a great quarterback. But I understand the pick of Zach Wilson. I'd be a little bit worried if I'm Zach Wilson. I would much rather go to San Francisco than New York. I would even want to go to Jacksonville over New York. New York just doesn't have as many weapons. Sorry, Adelaide.
Weapons?
Weapons. You know what I mean by weapon right there. Yeah.
Guns.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They don't have enough guns in New York. That's why all of those riots are going on, Adelaide. Not enough people with guns, as Frank would say.
Definitely more guns would help riots.
Yeah, as Frank would say. I'm a hero. So I started blasting. So running back in this position is Kevin Coleman. Kevin Coleman's not a bad running back, but again, you need depth behind him, or you need someone ahead of him. He's a good backup corner. I wouldn't want him as my starting running back. Corey Davis is a very good receiver. I actually really like the free agency pickup by the Jets this year. I think they're all very solid. Jamison Crowder's a very good receiver. Not to mention Denzel Mims is a very good draft pick last year. And let's see if he can do it well with a normal quarterback. Keelan Cole's a very good receiver. Josh Doxson was great with Washington when he was with Jamison Crowder. Tight ends is position in need. Offensive line is a position in need. Mainly the entire team's position in need. But there you go. Zach Wilson. So let's read some Zach Wilson stats, everyone. Are you ready for some Zach Wilson stats, Derek? Derek, are you?
Pupper says yes.
Okay. Puppers, here's your quarterback. He is 6'3", 210 pounds, and he's 21 years old. In 2018, his first year as a starting quarterback, he threw for 120. He attempted 182 passes, and he completed 120 of them for a 65.9% completion percentage. He threw for 1,578 yards for 12 touchdowns and 3 picks. Not a great number. 2019, he improved a little bit. His touchdown, actually, I think he regressed his junior year. He went 199 of 319 for 62.4% completion percentage. He had more yards. He had about 800 more yards with 2,382 yards. But he only threw for 11 touchdowns, which is one less than the year before it. And then he threw for 9 picks, which is 6 more interceptions than the year before. 2020 was his breakout year, and this is why he was drafted number 2 overall. Was this year he worked very hard to become the number 2 overall pick. He was not on many people's draft boards, even in the draft. Most people thought he wouldn't even go to the NFL, but it was because of all the work he put in during COVID to become this number 2 overall pick. He went 247 of 336 with a 73.5% completion rate. He threw for 1,300 more yards than he did in 2019. For 3,692 yards, he threw for. This is with last season, by the way. There were less games in 2020 season than he did in the 2019 season. He threw for 1,300 more yards. He threw for 33 touchdowns, and guess how many picks, Derek? How many interceptions?
12.
3 interceptions. So that means for every interception he threw for 11 touchdowns. So, very good numbers in 2020. The only problem is I have with him is that that was it for him.
So what do you think? So who do you think will be drafted by the San Francisco 49ers?
I think it's going to end up being Justin Fields. I think he is the better prospect, but
So is he another quarterback?
He is another quarterback who wants to play Jimmy Garoppolo. But let's go over some.
Nobody wants to.
I'm gonna guess.
You think we're big enough to be copyrighted?
Yeah, I think copyright struck already, Derek.
You have?
Yeah.
That's an honor.
Well, I don't know if it's an honor.
Also, we don't make money from these, so
I know.
how?
You can't post. You can get copyright struck, Derek, without making money off of it.
Didn't he get copyright struck? No, Spencer.
Oh, one of our friends got copyright struck because
he kept doing things that infringed on copyright.
Yeah, no, it was 100% a copyright strike. Okay, let's go, guys. So was mine. I straight up played music from someone else in an intro, but it worked perfectly, so I'm fine with getting the copyright strike. It'll only be gone.
This channel got deleted because it kept doing it.
It'll only be gone. It'll be gone in 6 months anyway. So here is our Zach Wilson stuff. Yay! We're gonna go with the first one. This is one of his first plays again, Derek. Watch this play. His deep ball is amazing, and I think that's why the Jets selected him. Watch this play, Derek. He throws it deep, so accurate. That's an absolute dime. And that receiver deserves a lot of credit for that play. He was able to go up over the corner. That's a beautiful throw. This is a perfect place to put the ball, because if your receiver doesn't make a play on it, then the corner's not going to get a pick. And I think that's what a lot of people forget with doing a deep ball. It's a lot on the receiver, but you got to give him a chance, or make sure that the worst case scenario is incomplete and not an interception. And I think that's what Jack Wilson did a great job there.
Also, why is it taking them so long? Shouldn't they have already?
Normally, 1 and 2 go extremely quickly, and I don't understand, because everyone knows who the best player is, normally. And you should always, if you're picking first, and you've had months to figure out who you want to select, you should not be using that 10 minutes for the full capacity. You should be like, okay, we're selecting this guy. As it gets later on, because you're going to have multiple players on your boards that you were looking at, and you're like, oh, this guy slipped to us, but I really like this guy. So it should take the full 10 or so minutes. But it should not take you 10 minutes right off the bat. But let's go over this. This is Zach Wilson, showing off Zach Wilson's speed and his legs. He's gonna scramble out of the pocket.
Legs has been the most used word in this entire stream.
Yeah, well, he needs legs to run.
Everyone needs legs to run.
Yeah, I know.
Not him specifically.
Well, you know what? I think you're a liar there. I think I could run without legs.
That is true.
This one is not a great play by Zach Wilson because it's a wide open touchdown, but I think I have to put it in there because it's a great flea flicker.
But they've used prosthetic legs.
Flea flicker. I love flea flicker. I don't understand. It wasn't a touchdown. I forgot that, but I love flea flickers. I don't know why I love flea flickers so much, but they're just such a great play.
Probably because it's called flea flicker.
I know, it's such a great name, isn't it? But the idea of handing it off to your running back and then him running to the line of scrimmage and then everyone's converging on him and he throws it backwards to the quarterback to throw it. I think it's a really cool trick play, and it's a normal trick play to run, but I think it's a really fun one to watch if it works correctly.
Adelaide says,
this was a bad throw by Zach Wilson, 100%. This is a mistake. Watch. That's a bad pass. You do not make that pass in this scenario.
You are a 1 hour, 2.5 hour long video.
It's the entire game, Derek.
Did you watch that entire thing?
Oh, yes. And I wrote down every single play. That's why I'm saying I'm dedicated to my fans.
Dear God.
And I wrote down, these are the plays that are the most interesting that he did.
That's what you do.
Yeah, at night, yeah. So watch. Watch this play, Derek. And tell me this is a good decision by Zach Wilson. Just right off the bat,
No.
that looks bad, right? It's a bad decision.
Yeah.
You're throwing it into double coverage. This could easily be picked off.
That should have been
It
picked up.
should have been picked
Ooh,
off.
the pick is in.
Horrible mistake. Yeah, we don't know who the 49ers missed.
Why did they say the pick is in?
Because the pick is in. They've selected their team.
They've
They're not giving
selected
me
their
enough
team.
Yeah, they selected their team.
The San Francisco 49ers
Okay,
are like,
we'll be right back to this,
okay,
guys.
I think we should just pick up the Saints for the Saints now.
That's what you sound like, Derek. Okay, we're gonna look at the San Francisco depth chart a little bit.
Eli, I know nothing about football. This is my only value to this tree.
That's true. Okay, we're gonna look at the San Francisco depth chart a little bit. Well, this is New York. We gotta change it real quick to San Francisco.
The only reason I'm here is because I can make quips at some things that you mess up on.
Quips. I didn't
Like saying
mess up
that-
on anything. Okay, so Jimmy Garoppolo is obviously the starting quarterback for the 49ers. It's not going to be for long, especially if they trade all the way up to number 3. They're obviously picking as someone. I think this should be Justin Fields. I honestly do. I think it's going to be stupid if they select Mac Jones. That's a mistake. I think Trey Lance
Then
has
the
an
Dolphins
argument.
might get a chance.
Chance at what?
Like,
I wouldn't want to draft Mac Jones. You shouldn't want to draft Mac Jones if you're a Dolphins fan.
oh,
But
I don't know football.
Raheem Mostert is a pretty solid running back. I'm just going to talk for a little bit. Deebo Samuel is very... And they drafted Trey Lance out of North Dakota State. Dang. Oh, man. Let's go. This is the first surprise of the draft.
Oh.
You don't understand how amazing this is, Jack. Almost all mock drafts had them either taking Justin Fields, the guy at Ohio State, or Mac Jones, the guy at Alabama. Now, they took Trey Lance, a quarterback from North Dakota State. Very small college, okay? Yeah, he's a very similar story to Josh Allen. He didn't receive many offers. That's why he went to North Dakota State. He has a huge arm. He's a very fast quarterback. So we're going to talk about him for a little bit. But first, let's get San Francisco out. They don't have any more first-round picks, so they're going to join the Chiefs, the Seahawks, the Rams, and Texans. So let's go. Trey Lance's stats.
Adelaide has been drafted.
I'd like to remind everyone that he only had 1 year as a starter in North Dakota State. So
Adelaide's been drafted.
but he went undefeated. Remember, he didn't lose a single game as a starter in college. He won every single game he was in, which is amazing. Trey Lance is 6'4", 226 pounds, and he's 20 years old. So 1 year younger than both Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence. In 2018, you want to hear this amazing stats, Derek? He had a 100% completion rate. He went 1 for 1 for 12 yards. But in 2019, that was his breakout year. He went for 192 for 287 with a 66.9% completion rate. He threw for 2,786 yards for 28 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. And in 2020, he played 1 game. He went in that game 15 for 30, so not a great game for him. 50%. He threw for 149 yards in that game, for 2 touchdowns and 1 interception, meaning he threw for, in his career at North Dakota State, 30 touchdowns and 1 pick, which is pretty amazing. And he went undefeated at North Dakota State. I think he should be remembered at North Dakota State as one of the best of all time in North Dakota State. So, Trey Lance, put that over there with the other quarterbacks that we selected, Eric. So, San Francisco now has a quarterback to grow under Jimmy Garoppolo.
So, Tigers.
The Tigers for the Bengals, there.
Tigers.
The Falcons are next, too. But we're going to watch a little bit of
Tigers.
Trey Lance game film.
I think that's the real reason people are here. Not for football, but for dog.
That's quite possible that co-host Puppers is a great co-host.
Oh, yeah. Wait, did that say 0 or 9?
Oh, 100% says 0. I don't know if we'll ever get anyone. Let's check it out, Derek. I don't know if anyone's watching this. It would be disappointing if no one's watching this because I'm spending a lot of time on this.
Can you look at it again to make him so...
Okay, so we're going to watch some Trey Lance game film, guys. Trey Lance game film.
If you exist.
If I exist, I do exist.
Not you, them.
Oh, that's true. I don't think Mel Kiper Jr. is an actual person.
No,
But-
I'm talking about the people watching it.
So let's look at some interesting statistics. So, Trevor Lawrence that season threw for 30 touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, 4 picks, and went 15-0. This was before the national championship with LSU. Now, Trey Lance that season went for 28 touchdowns, 13 rushing touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and went 15-0. Now, I understand Trevor Lawrence is a better overall prospect, but I did think that was an interesting stat to put up on the screen on ESPN. Also, some ground game statistics. This is how much they run the game in North Dakota State. Whoa, we're going to watch some Kyler Murray, Eric. What do you think of that? Doesn't he look like a normal person?
Well, you're number 1.
What?
I don't know. He's number 1.
He's number 1? Yeah, he is number 1.
Yeah, that's his number.
Yeah.
It's 1.
See, look at that, Derek. In the game, they threw 10 passes, and they ran the ball 41 times. That is insane. And this is, if you watch this game, it is a lot of Trey Lance running the ball. Like, watch this. This is an important play, 3rd and 11 on their opening drive, I think. He runs a QB draw. Dang it. Boo. I hate this. We're going to downvote this commercial because I'm mad at it. Downvote.
I think it's dislike on YouTube.
No, it's downvote, Derek. Just like if you upvote someone, the karma have.
That's both credit.
No. See, look at Trevor Lawrence. Trey Lance is what I love about him is his legs.
Yes, you said that.
It's his ability to run, really. Like, watch this. Oh my God! Stop it with the ads. I hate you. Look, I see that navigating of the pocket. Beautiful. Beautiful, Adelaide. Beautiful.
We want mostly.
I hate you. Dislike.
I don't think
As I say,
anyone has witnessed that except for
downvote.
I.
It's me, Derek. That was a beautiful stepping up in the pocket. I don't think you'll remember because of the commercials. We'll do some. This is a play that I think is very impressive. Oh my God, I hate ads. Like, that's supposed to be a screen pass.
How are there so many?
How is there so many ads, especially in something that shouldn't be monetized because it is just absolutely pirating.
NCAA championship?
Oh no,
That's-
never mind.
No, they just want to
See, look at that. See his ability to.
They're like, we have to make up all the money we didn't make by them.
Watch this play. We're gonna watch this
using
play, even
cable?
though we just watched it. Okay, so like that's supposed to be a screen pass. He's able to avoid that. This would be fine just as it is, but his ability, he stays up and he pushes all the way for that first down.
Mhm.
What effort by Trey Lance there? That's just a man who wants to win. Okay, this is a bad play that he does. Oh, but there's going to be another ad because there has to be. Oh my God, I hate you.
We all hate you.
We're going to do
Eli.
downvote.
It's.
Downvote.
Oh, see, Eli, unvetted. I saw that you have karma, but how?
I have karma.
Yes, you have 4, but you've never posted. Or
That's because it's a
comment.
See, look how almost that's a pick. That should have been a pick, honestly. This is a mistake. It's a bad mistake by Trey Lance. Watch this play, Eric.
Okay.
You think that's a good decision? He's trying to throw to this guy.
Oh, no.
That guy is right there. That could easily be a pick.
That should have been a pick.
That's a bad decision. But luckily, it's not a pick.
You did this with every video?
Yeah.
So like all 2 hours.
Yeah.
What time do you go to bed?
Depends. See? Look at that. Beautiful. 3rd and 23, by the way, I'd like to point out. What a clutch play. This was an 8-point game, right? This is a play that you have to make. Oh, they drafted Kyle Trask. Kyle Trask was off the board.
Pitts.
Oh, dang. Oh, yeah, you're right. You didn't draft Kyle Trask. If they drafted Kyle Trask, it would be the stupidest move ever by the Falcons. It's saying something as a Falcon.
I was like, I don't think that
Okay,
plays a
one more
team.
play. One more play for the North Dakota State Bison.
Now let's
It's a beautiful
look
draw.
at the
Okay,
Tigers.
but after that, let's go look at the Falcons. What are you
No,
talking
the Tigers.
Falcons.
Tigers. It's the It's a North York Tiger.
Okay, so I'd like to point out for the Falcons, they have one quarterback on the roster right now, which is not ideal. But let's read some Kyle Pitts stats. You ready, Garrett? Kyle Pitts is 6'6", 246 pounds, and he's 20 years old. In his first season with the Gators in 2018, he caught 3 passes for 73 yards and a touchdown. In 2019, he stepped it up considerably with 54 receptions for 649 yards and 5 touchdowns. In 2020, he had less receptions with only 43, but he caught 770 yards and he caught 12 touchdowns that year. Kyle Pitts is officially a Falcon. So that's what. So I think the Falcons, I always think, oh man, the Falcons look like a good team. They could be a tough contender next year, but they never turn out to be. They always suck. They never are.
You gotta realize that
they're always a
coaches,
disappointment.
instead of making the players better, they just make them worse.
It's quite possible that
Like
that's
the
how
Jets
they
have way less talent, but they're almost on the same level.
Yep, it's true, and it's kind of sad that
The
Falcons
coaches
do this
make them worse.
it's quite possible the coaches make.
I'm
them
pretty
worse.
sure if you had a high school football coach, he would be better.
Maybe it's maybe.
Yeah, good high school.
Brady Quinn is back, and he is a bad head coach. Thank God they fired him this year. But let's watch. We're done. We're done with you. We're done with you, North Dakota State.
How many ads?
I know they have to keep showing ads. That's why I like. That's why I liked.
YouTube Premium?
No, that's why I liked
The pirated stuff?
the pirated stuff because they don't have ads.
Yeah, they
Or
have.
they have some ads, but it's like every hour instead of every freaking 5 seconds. There's an ad. It was annoying, but
Yeah, because they don't want to get copyright stuff.
Yeah.
Because they're pirating video.
yeah, that's okay. So we're gonna
Is
look.
that a spider on our roof?
Ooh, where?
Look. There.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, I think it's Daddy Longleg.
Yep, it's just on the ceiling.
Okay,
That's somewhat disturbing.
Where is it? SEC Championship. The full game of the SEC Championship, Derek. Are you ready? Are you ready for the full game of the SEC Championship? For Kyle
Yep,
Pitts.
that's 0.
I don't know if that's accurate. Let's check if it's accurate. Yeah, I think it's accurate. No one's saying anything in there. Well, all GGB wants is some people to watch his live stream. How sad.
The problem is you're saying that to no one except
Yeah, I know,
Puppers.
for just no one except you and Puppers. But let's watch some Kyle Pitts
Let's
games.
continue talking to ourselves.
Yeah, let's continue talking to ourselves. It's quite fun. Alright, so let's watch some Kyle Pitts plays. There was only 4 in particular that were interesting, so let's watch them. 150, 148, Derek. This is a pretty important part in playing the game. Remember, Florida's down by 11 points in the third quarter. If they punt the ball back to Alabama here, Alabama will likely score, and it will be very, very bad for Florida, right? So Kyle Pitts is going to come up clutch here. I'm pretty sure. That's what the point of this play is. Yep. I don't want to hit Adelaide, but
You
you see the play
did.
there.
How could you
Huge
hit?
play by Kyle Pitts. He sits himself in the right spot. You're going to watch the replay. Watch. Sits himself in the right spot and get his. It's a nice throw by Kyle Trask as well, but I think it's a better play by Kyle Pitts.
Peace.
Well, okay.
No, I'm not leaving. I just need to go.
I think that's the definition of leaving, Derek. I don't need to leave, but I need to leave. This is a beautiful throw by Kyle Trask, but this is a nice catch because Kyle Pitts gets absolutely hammered after he catches the ball, and not to mention he doesn't drop it, which is impressive in a lot of circles. I mean, a lot of if this is Evan Ingram, he likely drops this fly. Thank you for throwing a pencil at me, Derek. See, that's an immediate hit. So I think it's very impressive that he ended up catching that ball. Nonetheless, let's go to another play. Oh my God, who is throwing pencil? Derek, stop throwing pencils at me. Okay, we're gonna watch another play. This is a huge play. Remember, this is a 14-point game. Florida kind of needs to score a touchdown to stay in this thing, okay? So Kyle Pitts is going to run a slant. Now, okay, he could just catch it there. His speed and athleticism is able to get him all the way down to the 1 yard line. It's almost a touchdown, but just 1 yard line. Still a huge play. He's coming up clutch when they need him the most.
Holy.
And then Kyle Pitts' last play for this is like 5, 6 different players, okay? So catches, this is another play. Run, down again by 14 points with about 2 minutes left. This is probably my favorite play. So we're going to go full screen for this play because this is my favorite play he did. Mossing him. Oh, beautiful catch. Beautiful catch. Beautiful throw by Kyle Trask. But that man is double teamed and he catches that ball. Beautiful catch by Kyle Pitts. And this is what you're getting if you're the Falcons. You get
What are you getting if
Athletic.
you're the Tigers?
Bengals.
Tigers. No one can correct me because no one is here.
That's true. No one's watching. Okay. Let's go to a different screen. We're going to go.
Andrew is
Cancel.
watching.
How dare he? You should call Andrew and tell him to watch.
Okay. Oh, wait. I can't use your phone.
You can't use my phone. My phone's the one streaming, Derek. Come on.
Where's my phone?
Come on, son.
Okay.
Bye, Derek.
Give me one. Uno minute.
Cincinnati Bengals. Okay. So,
Thank God.
if you didn't know this, I didn't know this. I didn't realize that Kyle Shermer, Pat Shermer's son, is still in the league. He was a quarterback at Vanderbilt. I'll repeat that again, Vanderbilt. So obviously, not a great quarterback. The fact he's still in the league, he's a third-string quarterback for the Bengals, is pretty amazing. But running back is very solid, Joe Mixon. Samaje Perine is a decent backup to have on your team. A lot of people have been saying wide receiver here. I think it's a mistake to take a wide receiver here, but I can understand the point. Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins are both great players, but you kind of need a third good one. You don't have very many good receivers on the team. Auden Tate, Mike Thomas are both decent backups, but I don't think they're ready for a starting role. Tight end, you could use a new one. I got to say, Drew Sample is not the best tight end, although Mason Shrek has the name of a god. So I think you need to have Mason Shrek start. Jonah Williams is a guy that they drafted, 2 years ago? 1 year ago? He's starting. He's going to do fine. I believe in him. Now, Riley Reef is a guy that picked up free agency. I think he's very solid. But the inside of the line, very, very suspect. And I think Panay Sanu, if you draft him, you can move Riley Reef inside. I think that's who you have to draft here. The offensive line, defensive line is a little bit suspect. Trey Hendrickson, I'm sure a lot of people know the name. He's a very solid player. DJ Reader's also very good. But Sam Hubbard, he's also pretty good. Never mind. I think you could use a new defensive tackle, but other than that, I think it's very solid. Now, linebacker, you can use some new ones. Akeem Davis-Gaither, I think, proved himself last year as a very solid linebacker, even if he's just some depth. I love Jesse Bates and Von Bell. Will solid. Woozier is also very good in his own right. Who did the Bengals pick, everyone? Drum roll, please. Jamar Chase out of LSU. Woo. Smart move by the Bengals. Why protect your quarterback when you can give him a receiver? That makes sense. Let's do that, says the Bengals. Okay, so the Dolphins have literally been given the most obvious choice ever. They've been gifted an offensive lineman that many had as the best offensive lineman they've ever seen in the draft. They've been gifted them. They've been just handed a great receiver. So instead of addressing the fact that Joe Burrow tore his ACL, MCL because of the bad offensive line, they're like, get him a real receiver. Why protect him when we could just get him great receivers? I am at a loss of words at the moment. But let's watch some other stuff. Let's watch some stuff, okay? I like to watch stuff. We're gonna watch some stuff. Where is it? The championship game with Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase in the championship game. Bow bow. Jamar Chase. Okay. So let me find it real quick. National championship. So we were watching Trevor Lawrence plays with this. Let's watch some Chase plays. I like some Jamar Chase. Let's watch some Jamar Chase. Okay. This is a bad play. This is the first play I really noted. This could have been a huge play. I think, yeah. Joe Burrow does a great job of evading the pressure. That should have been a catch. I do think that. I think you need to catch that in that situation. I mean, that's a first down for your team that's down 7-0 at the beginning of the game. This is a somewhat good play. I mean, you're setting the tone offensively for the rest of the game. I understand LSU ended up winning this game. But this is a play you kind of should make if you're Jamar Chase. It's a beautiful pass by Joe Burrow, and it just goes straight through your hands. I mean, it's tipped a little bit, but you still need to catch that if you're Jamar Chase. Bad play. Bad play. Okay, let's go watch some more Jamar Chase plays. Okay, this is one of his better plays. It's a great play by Jamar. Stop throwing pencils at me there. See, look at this. No, that separation, his ability to catch. It's beautiful. Jamar Chase is an absolute phenomenal receiver. I don't think anyone was arguing against that. I think the fact that the Bengals decided to take that, though, the position of wide receiver instead of...
What's the Dolphins pick?
We do not know
Jamar
yet.
Chase.
No, that's who the Bengals just drafted there.
Who do you think they're going to pick?
The Dolphins have been gifted one of the best offensive linemen in the draft history. They've been gifted it because the Bengals should have taken them. Like, the Bengals need to protect Joe
I
Burrow.
thought they were going to pick a wide receiver or something.
But the Bengals?
No, I mean the Dolphins.
I think the Dolphins. I mean, Derek, I want you to think about this. Would you rather have a car with a whole bunch of gas or a car with insurance? Okay. Well, imagine Tua already has gas. He needs some insurance. That's what you need. You need insurance for your O. Your O-line basically makes sure your quarterback doesn't die. Without your O-line, you end up with...
doesn't do that. It just pays you if your car dies.
Okay, imagine...
So it'd be better if, like, it was made like...
I forgot to read my Jamar Chase stats.
Oh, yeah, you never did.
Quickly. For
Just
some
speed
Jamar
read
Chase.
it.
Let's go.
He's
He was 6 foot, 208 pounds for 21 years old. In 2018, his first year, he had 23 receptions for 313 yards and 3 touchdowns. 2019, that was the year he was in the national championship.
Snickers.
They picked Snickers. What a pick. Sounds like a Houston Texans pick. Instead of picking an actual players, I'll take a Snickers.
Jamar Chase.
You can't pick Jamar Chase. He's already off the board. 2019, he had 84 catches for 1,780 yards and 20 touchdowns. So, since the Dolphins decided to pick so quickly, let's go look at what their roster is. What does everyone think of that? I think it's a smart decision because you kind of need to know what everyone's rosters are to know whether it's going to be a good pick or not, or who they should pick. You know what I mean?
I know, but a quarterback without a good wide receiver.
He has a good wide receiver. Have you never heard the name Devonta Parker?
I know, but one isn't good enough.
Derek, look, okay? They have Devonta Parker, who's one of the best receivers in the entire NFL. Not to mention they signed Will Fuller in free agency, who's an amazing speedy receiver, okay? Preston Williams is a young guy who they drafted only a couple years ago, and he showed promise in his couple games with Tua Tagovailoa. They seem to have a bond, right? Jakeem Grant is one of the fastest receivers in the entire NFL. See, the problem isn't, do they have good receivers? They have good receivers. The problem is Will Fuller, Devonta Parker, Jakeem Grant, they're all in their 7th year in the NFL. They're on their end of their careers, right? So the goal would be to get a younger receiver. But an offensive lineman would be so huge for the Dolphins, especially since the Bengals decided to gift them Penei Sewell. They were just... Penny? I can't pronounce his name.
Yeah,
it's
I want Penei.
Penei. They've been gifted one of the best offensive linemen a lot of people said they've ever seen. He never let up a sack, Derek. His entire college career, he let up exactly 0 snaps. He played over 1,500 snaps.
So that means the quarterback never got tackled?
He never got tackled with
Okay, yeah, that's
protected. Well, he never got tackled from the guy that Penei Sewell was guarding. Like,
how many people on the offensive line?
5.
Okay, so 1 in 5 people will always be protected.
Well, offensive line, you need 5 good ones, right? Well, tackles are the most important because they protect the quarterback.
Jalen Watt.
Waddle. Okay, so they decided, why protect my quarterback when we can get him some good receivers, which isn't insane. Jalen Waddle's a very solid receiver
Why'd you
out of
just
Alabama.
put him back there?
Oh, because they picked him again in the first round.
Ah.
So that was they traded with the Texans a couple years back. That was where the Texans would have picked if they had a first-round draft pick. So the Dolphins get another pick. So if you're the Lions here, you got to think. We need every position in the entire draft. So you should probably pick best available. But man, if you look at their receiving core,
Is Jalen Waddle good?
Jalen Waddle's very solid. You can watch his highlights on the screen. The problem with him is he went to Alabama. So let me read you some of
What's
the stats.
wrong with going to Alabama?
Because Alabama's a hellhole. But never mind.
What? Because of all the family relations?
Yes. Jalen Waddle. He's not huge. 5'10", 182 pounds, 22. He's 22. Okay, those are just them over there. Those are the people that have already been drafted. Okay, so he's not a big receiver.
But he's been saved from Alabama.
His freshman year, he had 2018. He had 45 passes for 848 yards and 7 touchdowns. Okay.
Now he's gonna move to Florida, the less hellhole of the hellhole.
It's the best state. I don't know what you're talking about there.
Yes, the best state.
I would rather live in Florida than anywhere else. In 2019, he caught 33 passes for 560 yards and 6 touchdowns. And in 2020, by the way, this is not fair for him. In 2020, he tore his ACL very early on in the season.
Yeah.
He only caught 28 passes for 591 yards and 4 touchdowns, right? So he never had an over 1,000-yard season in Alabama, which makes sense because last year there were 2 first-round draft picks, so he was behind them. And in the year that he was supposed to break out this year, he tore his ACL. So he never quite had an over 1,000-yard receiving season. It makes sense though, considering. But
So
Jalen Waddle,
I
personally would not have picked Waddle there, but I don't think it's a bad pick. You give Tua Tagovailoa someone he's played with in college, because Tua Tagovailoa also went to Alabama.
Maybe we'll get to his next pick.
What?
Maybe Panay will get to his next pick.
So the big question here for the Lions is, here, put this over here. I think Penei Sewell is the best player left on the board, right? But
no one else thinks that.
no, a lot of other people think that. I mean, that's why ESPN's running Derek. They also think that your receiving core is in desperate need of a new receiver. You don't know any of these names, but Tyrell Williams, Rashad Perryman, and Quintez Cephas are the 3 starting receivers for the Detroit Lions. I'd like to point out that Quintez Cephas was a rookie last year, and he saw next to no playing time because they didn't view him as good enough to see playing time. It's true. Tight end, you have some pretty solid players. TJ Hawkinson's great. Josh Hill, as a Saints fan, got a great player there in him. See, I'm going back and forth on this. You need to protect Jared Goff if you view him as the future of your franchise, which I hope you do if you're a Detroit Lions fan, because it's possible he's the future of your franchise. Hey, Derek, guess what? We have one person watching. I think it might be Andrew. Did you call him?
I texted him. I said, "Why aren't you watching Eli's stream, Jill?"
Yeah, well, we have one watching now. I hope the one person watching now is having a good time. I type something in the chat so I know who you are, one person watching. I think it'd be nice to know who the one person left watching. I don't know what the heck is happening over there with Derek. But it's interesting. Do they go with Devonta Smith here? I think that's also a very solid pick if you're going to go with that. Defense is something we need to address, but probably later in the draft, not now. But I think Detroit is a very solid pick. I think, honestly, Justin Fields wouldn't be an insane pick here. He's slipping to them. And if it's not going to Detroit, I think Carolina. I think there's 3 players you need to look at: Devonta Smith, Penei Sewell, or Justin Fields. Either way you go.
Watching.
What?
Andrew is watching.
Andrew is watching. He's the last one. Oh, wow, Derek, your pencil stabbed me. I actually hate you for throwing pencil at me. The way he laughed made me angry and not happy.
Well, you should suck it up, Buttercup.
I'll beat you. Do you want to be beaten, mister? If you have to think about it, beat you on live television. I'll beat you with the one person watching.
69. 60.
What?
Look, been on for 69 minutes.
69 minutes. I'm a hero and a legend and a god.
Nice.
So, what position do you think they should select, Derek? They could draft a new quarterback named Justin Fields from Ohio State. They could go with a wide receiver like Devonta Smith, which they're in desperate need of a wide receiver. But they're in desperate need in a lot of positions. Or they could draft an offensive lineman to help protect Jared Goff.
Yeah.
What do you think, Derek?
Jared
Clock's
Goff.
ticking. Jared Goff. You can't select Jared Goff. He's already on your team.
I don't care.
You
I
don't
want
care
him double.
for the
I
Detroit.
want to clone him.
Poor Detroit. Derek, Detroit fans out there, Derek does not care about your team. He hopes they
don't.
suffer and die.
I do.
You do care about your team?
No, I don't care
You don't
about
care
their
about
team.
their
I
team.
hope they suffer and I hope they die.
Ah, poor Detroit Lions fans.
I
We're
think
so
that
crushed.
about
The Cowboys.
these teams.
You just selected every team but the Dolphins.
Yes.
So you like the teams behind you.
No. Oh, those as well. I don't like those.
You don't like the Chiefies?
Yeah.
You don't like the team that Mama loves? How dare
No.
you? Who did the Lions select, Derek? Penny Stool. I don't worry. I think this is a smart pick. I honestly do. I
I
think
don't think it's good that he's in a cast.
he's just chilling.
He's just chilling in a.
It could be like a leg compressor thing, Derek.
I think it's a cast.
Well, he's excited. How can't you be excited
He
for
can't
the man?
stand up.
Well, you know what? Maybe he wanted to not stand up. What do you think of that, Derek?
He's
Who wants to watch a random game film that has nothing to do with Penny Sewell?
Yay!
Penny Sewell. After the coin. Don't hit me.
Why did this mean I was gonna hit you?
Because
it does.
beat you. Don't helmets.
I'm not kick your helmet.
Okay, well I don't have any stats for Penny Sewell, so
Why? You said he was one of the best.
how do you do stats for no lineman, Derek?
How many touchbacks he's let up?
No, that's not anything. Okay, we're gonna watch some random game film. Who wants to watch some game film of a player that we've already looked at before? What do you think of that, everyone? We're gonna watch some game film of. No, we're not gonna watch game film of anyone. Oh, wait, actually, you know what we are. We're gonna watch some more Jamar Chase game film. Let's watch him catch a deep pass. He's a great deep threat, so we're gonna watch that. Watch this amazing throw by dime, but a great catch by Jamar, and his ability to stay in balance was amazing, and almost a touchdown by Jamar. So close, but yet so far, almost there, buddy, but not quite. So we're gonna watch another Jamar Chase play because I just like watching plays. Plus, the Panthers have to select, and they have to consider. Do they want to draft Justin Fields or not? That's really what you're looking at here. Do you believe that Sam Darnold is the future of your franchise or not? Because Justin Fields has fallen to you. And if it goes one more, there is no way the Broncos are not taking Justin Fields. Justin Fields is still on the board, by the way.
Where's your compatriot?
Well, Derek left. He's gone. So we're going to watch another play by Jamar Chase. What an amazing player Jamar Chase is. Throws. Joe Burrow throws deep, and just, it's a beautiful throw. Like, I think that's why Joe Burrow selected number one overall. A lot of people understand that. It's just his ability to throw. It's in the perfect spot. It's just right in the bucket. It's not that easy of a throw, but the way he does it, he makes it look so effortless. And dang, I'm just really mad that they didn't draft Penei Sewell to protect him. Oh my God. Doesn't matter how many good receivers you have, you're going to absolutely destroy this man's career because you won't invest in an offensive line. Okay, let's watch some Jamar Chase plays, guys. Wide receiver screen, and he's just gonna avoid all these people, make them all miss, make them all look silly. What a great play by Jamar Chase. I really like Jamar Chase. I don't know if you can tell. You want me? I'm gonna look up some Jalen Waddle highlights because I feel like this isn't. We're gonna watch some Jalen Waddle highlights, guys, because I don't want to watch some Penei Sewell highlights, but we will watch some Jalen Waddle highlights. We're gonna watch them until the Panthers select their team. We're gonna watch some Jalen Waddle highlights, guys.
Are you videoing this?
Yes, we're live streaming. You're in the shot, by the way. Are you happy? No, it's the phone.
Look at that, Eli.
What? Washington Redskins.
You gotta get a big piece of tape.
Why? I have the Redskins little out of it.
Ooh, that would be a collector's item.
Jalen Waddle highlights, guys. I hope you're excited. I have not had time to go through Jalen Waddle's tape just because there's not that much of it because of his injuries and the fact that this was supposed to be his breakout year because this was going to be his first year as a starting receiver, but he tore his ACL very early on. So they didn't have time to. So we're just going to watch some Jalen Waddle highlights. He's the fastest receiver in the draft. Oh, actually, Rondale Moore is the fastest receiver in the draft. He ran like a 4.3 something in the 40. Insanely quick, that man. But Jalen Waddle is the second fastest receiver, and he's definitely one of the best receivers.
4.3 was the fastest? It's not very fast.
Why?
There's always usually 4.2 guys.
Well, they didn't do the combine this year, so it was just pro days that we have to go off of. And guys like Jalen Waddle didn't run the 40. And Jalen Waddle's easily one of the faster receivers in this draft class. He is so fast. He's so speedy. He's like Henry Ruggs, but I think faster in my opinion. And I think that's where you're going to get a lot of his highlight is his ability to return punts. And I'm excited to see him paired up with Tua Tagovailoa in Miami. I think it's going to be a great matchup. And the two receivers off the board so far, he got face mask and he was able to take it all the way back for a touchdown, which I think is amazing. But the two receivers off the board so far, Jalen Waddle and Jamar Chase, both went back to their college quarterbacks in Joe Burrow and Tua Tagovailoa. The next one off the board is going to be Devonta Smith, but he's not going to go to this college quarterback because it's going to be Miami. Unless he slips all the way down to Miami, which I don't know how that happens. But those are just the statistics. I think Justin Fields is going to go to the Panthers.
Left still. This is interesting.
Well, I don't know if Mac Jones is that good.
He's good.
He's not that good. But okay. Pick is in.
Accurate.
Let's slide. The pick is J.C. Horn, cornerback, South Carolina. So, Justin Fields. Yeah, Joe Horn's good. First corner off the board. I'm surprised with that. I thought it was going to be Patrick Surtain, if I'm going to be honest. I think it's going to be interesting. I kind of really wanted him as a Saints fan, but J.C. Horn is going to Carolina, everyone. I hope all these Carolina fans are excited. Denver, you were just gifted Justin Fields. You did not have to trade up to get arguably the second best quarterback in this draft class. He just fell to you. He has been given to you. Just like I said to the Dolphins were given Penei Sewell and they passed him up. The Lions were given Penei Sewell and they did not pass him up. So are you going to pass him up? I mean, I think you kind of need to take him. So I don't have J.C. Horn tape on me right now, but we're gonna watch some J.C. Horn highlights. We're gonna watch some of this while we're waiting for them to take Justin Fields. J.C. Horn's one of my favorite corners, if I'm going to be honest. He's very sticky. He's gonna get on the ball. I don't understand why they're showing highlights of tackling, but okay. Especially when J.C. Horn has so many better highlights. He absolutely destroyed Auburn this year single-handedly. He absolutely covered every single one of those players. See, that was a nice play. That's a very nice play. He has long arms. He's very sticky in coverage, and I think that's why I like him a lot. Mainly, again, Joe Horn was his dad, so I'm gonna love that about him. Joe Horn's one of my favorite receivers ever, mainly because he was a Saint. But I think Joe Horn's a great receiver. J.C. Horn is his son, so of course I'm gonna respect him. That's a pretty good hit right there. I don't think it was great coverage though. I mean, he could have gotten a little bit closer there. See, that was nice recovery. He got beat on that slant. He was able to come back and he was able to punch that ball out. Dang, nice. That's a nice tackle. I mean, normally these people are going to juke you out of your shoes if you're going to come up in the fight. The fact that he was able to tackle, it's pretty solid. I think it's a pretty good trait. Nice. That was good defense. He punched it out. Normally, if the corner's caught like that, I mean, he's going to commit PI. That was not PI, so it was very solid coverage. That's very good coverage. I mean, I don't know if there's better coverage like that. The belt ball, he sacked someone. I don't know. This is not what you're going to want from a corner in like J.C. Horn. I mean, obviously, it'd be nice to get sacks with him, but this is not the. Did J.C. Horn pop that? I mean, that's missing on a tackle. Oh my God, Derek, he missed. That was such a bad shot.
I tried throwing a frisbee at him, but it missed.
Yeah. People know, Derek.
How? They just saw a random thing fly past you.
The people know, Derek.
Come
You
on!
missed again. How bad are you? You're really suck at this, I guess.
This thing isn't bad!
When the Seahawks acquiring Jadeveon Clowney was a big deal. You missed again. Like, oh my God, Derek. Come close, at least.
So, we're not even past the first row?
Nope. We're on the 9th overall pick.
God. So this is going to take 320 minutes?
You suck. I don't know what else to say. This is bad. It is really bad. At this point, Derek, I think you might be missing on purpose because...
Yes!
You kind of grazed my lip.
Did it hurt?
No, because it's a frisbee. It's not even a hard frisbee. It's barely a frisbee.
Yeah, it's a
You missed me from 2 inches away. How?
coos.
Absolutely how?
Coos.
Oh my God. That was so bad, Derek. Bad. Jonah even said, Derek, how? How do you keep missing? You're so bad, Derek. So bad. We're just gonna let some J.C. Horn
Look at
highlights
this
from-
shape, okay? It's not even circular.
Well, Derek, maybe you should come closer. Maybe you should. I'm gonna block.
I hit it.
You hit my arm. You ready?
Oh
I'm
God.
gonna
Yes.
hit you.
Okay, hit me.
This is weird shape. I almost hit you. You moved to avoid
I
it. I didn't move
I
at
did
all.
not move.
I
Okay,
never moved.
I will stand
I'm a hero
back
myself.
here and boom. Yes, hit me.
I missed.
See, it's hard.
Derek, don't hit my timers. It was a threat. It was a trick.
Woo!
You missed. Again. Bad. J.C. Horn. J.C. Horn. You missed. That was the worst one yet. That wasn't even close.
I'll hit you one day.
Picked off. Oh,
Yes!
I picked off.
You didn't even hit me there.
Because you moved. He's gonna pick off Kyle Trask. Bad shot. Bad everything, really. Not difficult.
Okay. Eli, this is the first time you hit me. Fine, hit me here. Eli, that's just pathetic.
You're pathetic. You missed me about 1,000 times. You missed me from 2 inches away.
Okay. This has become the new stream.
This new stream is you throwing things at me.
Yes.
It's not extreme. Okay, the Denver Broncos pick is in, Derek. Who do you think it is going to be? What position? Name a position you think it's going to be.
Running receiver.
Running receiver. That's not a position. Investigate. I'm going to hit you. I missed it.
Not so much. You hit the couch.
It's going to be Justin Fields. It should be Justin Fields, and it should be 1,000% Justin Fields. It should not be a difficult decision to make. Teddy Bridgewater is a high floor, low ceiling quarterback. You know what that means, Derek?
No.
It means the worst he can do is still going to be pretty good. The best he can do, it's not going to be that great. So he has a high floor, which means the worst he can do, not horrible, pretty good. Low ceiling. It means if you have the best, if he has the best.
So he lives within a box.
Yeah. Sure.
Also, Jonah, Eli missed as much as I did. So
I did not.
this is accurate, isn't it?
Hey, you savage! They threw a frisbee at the god, the golden god. We're gonna look at the Broncos depth chart. That's what we're gonna.
Subscribe for daily content, Eli.
No one wants to subscribe to your dumb thing for daily content. You should subscribe to my dumb thing for daily content, though. And it's not going to be daily. It's not going to be daily.
It's
So,
going to be
It's
monthly.
going to be like almost monthly. Patrick Surtain, that's who the Broncos selected. Well, how do they know?
No.
It's not on the screen yet. Is it? Is it Patrick Surtain? I really want it to not be Patrick Surtain and ESPN to be wildly off. Is it Patrick? Dang it, it is Patrick Surtain. How do you know? They hadn't announced it yet. They had the inside scoop.
They were just like, I read the minds.
I don't understand how Justin Fields is falling this far. And at this point, I really want the Redskins to try to trade up and get to him because Cowboys aren't going to take him. Giants aren't going to take him. Maybe the Eagles. I mean, Fields is just falling. And
Yes.
so they drafted a corner, which isn't stupid. It kind of badness. It makes sense. I mean, it doesn't make... No, never mind. I'm going to take it back. It doesn't make any gosh dang sense. Kyle Fuller and Ronald Darby are both very solid corner. Not to mention, Ojemudia is a very good corner. I think he proved that this year. I just don't understand the pick. Linebacker would have made so much more sense. Micah Parsons would have worked so well there. And if you're going to take a defensive player, Micah Parsons is there. But Patrick Surtain, I actually have his stats, so we're going to read some stats. Are you ready for some Patrick Surtain stats, Derek? Are you? Answer the question, Derek.
No.
Okay, well, you're going to get some. He is 6'2", 202 pounds, and he's 21 years old. In 2018, he had 37 total tackles, 28 solo tackles, 1 forced fumble, and 1 pick. In 2019, in my opinion, his best year, he had 42 total tackles, 32 solo tackles, 3 forced fumbles, and 2 interceptions. Very solid year. If I can say so. If I say so myself. He is, in 2020, he had 38 total tackles, 22 solo tackles, and 1 pick. So again, a little bit of a decrease from 2019, but I think that's to be expected. Yeah, I think the Cowboys were just screwed over. The Broncos really should have taken Justin Fields, and then Patrick Surtain would have landed right in their lap. As it is, I think the Cowboys are in trouble because if you look at the Cowboys' depth chart, the position they needed was corner. Corner was a huge need for them, and I don't think you can draft the Virginia Tech. Dang it, I don't know. Virginia Tech corner's name is going over my head right now, but Greg Newsome, I don't think you can take either of those guys this high. So we're going to look at some Dallas Cowboys depth chart. Dallas Cowboys depth chart. Cha-cha-cha-cha. So obviously, Dak Prescott is a very solid number 1 quarterback. Running back, Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard, both very good. And then receivers, fine. Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb. You want to add another guy maybe later to be a 4th receiver. But those 3 are very solid. Blake Jarwin, Dalton Schultz, both were fine last year. I wouldn't say great, but they were fine. Offensive line's good as long as you don't have too many injuries. The defense is what you need to worry about. And corner was a huge need. Trayvon Diggs, I think he showed last year that he is a pretty good corner. But dang, Anthony Brown is not a good corner. And then the safeties in Donovan Wilson, Devonta Kazee, both not great. Terrell Basham is not a good linebacker. So, and then the defensive tackles is just it's a mess. That defensive tackle with Neville Gallimore and Tristan Hill. There's a lot of different positions where you could use some help. The problem is a lot of the top positions were wide receiver, and then there were two corners. I guess if I'm the Cowboys, I take Micah Parsons. That's just me personally. I would take Micah Parsons because I mean you can't draft Justin Fields at this point. You just signed you just signed Dak Prescott to a huge deal, and I mean like a huge deal. So you can't draft another quarterback, and it'd just be a waste of money and a waste of a pick. So, see, Jonah, I 100% agree. Parsons would fit perfectly where Sean Lee is, and I honestly think that should be the pick here. I wouldn't be against them drafting Rashawn Slater. I don't think it would. Whoa, the Eagles traded up. The Eagles traded up with the Cowboys. Man, the Cowboys are out here making deals. And I mean, they didn't even lose the number 12 overall pick. Dang. Eagles. I don't even know I don't think the Cowboys are drafting anymore in the first round. Goodbye, Cowboys. You got a whole bunch of other picks, I guess, because you're not drafting. So, I think it's pretty obvious who the Eagles traded up to get. I don't know if there's a question about it, really. It's really kind of simple. They are 100% going to take Justin Fields, and I think that's kind of a rip on Jalen Hurts. Poor Jalen Hurts, but I mean it's going to be an interesting opportunity for Justin Fields coming to Philly. I think it's really weird that Justin. Does anyone else think it's weird that
Anyone else? Jonah's the only one.
Yeah, Jonah. Jonah, do you think it's weird that Denver Bronco had Justin Fields fall in their lap? They needed to trade nowhere, and they decided to go with Teddy Bridgewater over Justin Fields. I think that's extremely odd. Maybe I'm the only one. I think that's going to come back to bite them in the booty. It's really gonna. I think it's going to hurt them in the long run. I mean, does anyone really think that the future of the program in Denver is Teddy Bridgewater?
Yes.
You think it is, Derek?
I don't know.
Well, the Eagles traded up. I think it's got to be Justin Fields. Linebacker, I mean, I guess linebacker would work. I mean, drafting Micah Parsons would not be an insane move to do here. But I feel like if you're trading up, it's got to be quarterback. It's quarterback or nothing. Really, I think we all agree.
Who traded up?
Philly. It's got to be Justin Fields, right?
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, you don't trade up to draft a linebacker at number 10. I mean, it wouldn't make any sense.
Why did they do all this stuff last minute?
They don't really do it all last minute.
But Derek, what happens is they have a list of guys they like. And they say, okay, how far up did they move?
They moved up 2 spots. But they also still have the number 12 overall pick, which is confusing me. So they have 10 and 12.
Who's picking ahead of them?
No one.
Who
They're
would
picking
have picked ahead of them?
Cowboys. And the Giants. It's weird. Yeah, I know, right? I don't think the Cowboys are the
Well,
Giants.
usually you jump when you think that the other team's going to pick the guy you want.
Mm-hmm. It's odd.
That happened to
Oh.
the Saints with Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, never mind. I thought they were gonna select it.
Penn State linebacker.
Yeah, I saw Micah Parsons on the screen. I'm like, oh, they selected Micah Parsons. And I'm like, oh, wait, never mind. They did not select Micah Parsons. It's odd. I think it's really
The
weird.
pick isn't even in.
Yeah.
They only have 30 seconds.
They need to figure
Has
it out.
anyone ever overtime?
Yeah, what happens if you run out of time? Do they just select the team for you? Player for you? You get Sarah Fuller at a Vanderbilt.
That's what they do, yeah.
What
Really?
do they?
They just pick a player?
No, I was joking. No, I just
Oh, they
think
did lose
it.
12. Yeah, Jonah's right. Well, I don't know why. They didn't change it on ESPN for like a whole
What's that?
5 minutes. Okay, Dallas does get 12. I don't understand why ESPN just decided to run with Philly's going to get 10 and 12 for a long time, but Dallas does get the pick in the first round. I never mind. So, who are the Eagles going to select? Ooh, drum roll, please. Derek, give me a drum roll.
This is gonna be a long drum roll.
Oh, it says the pick is in, but we're not there yet. Okay, never mind. You can stop the drum roll. Drum roll, stop! Derek, stop it. Who was drafted? Who's 9? Oh,
Make it
Broncos.
sound like a horse.
Okay. So, I think wide receiver would be a need. So maybe Devonta Smith if they're not going to draft Justin Fields. But I got to think the pick's going to be Justin Fields. Devonta Smith and do it. I'd like to see this at a probably in the first round. Stop it, Eric. The pick isn't even close to being announced yet. I don't want to have
Has that Panini guy gotten picked yet?
No, Panay? Yeah.
Who did you pick?
The Lions.
Oh, they did. That's a good pick.
I mean, I was like, it's right in your lap, Lions. Protect Jared Goff. I understand that you want a wide receiver.
Here he comes.
Okay! Roger Goodell's gonna come out to announce it.
My
Who's
legs
it gonna be? Ooh. Yeah,
Yeah,
drum roll. We're gonna continue the drum roll. Drum roll. Oh, dang it. Jared. Roger Goodell's
Gosh, this is
listening to
going
some old
to hurt
lady.
my hand.
You're just laughing at that point.
My
Jared.
legs are hurting.
Puppers wants to do with the action. Carlos Puppers is excited. With the 10th overall pick in the NFL draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Sarah Fuller out of Vanderbilt. She's a kicker.
She's a kicker?
She's a kicker. It is Devonta Smith, Alabama. Insanity is happening.
My hands.
Okay, who wants to hear some Devonta Smith statistics? Devonta Smith is 6'1", 175 pounds, and is 22 years old. So a year older than almost every receiver. So the Eagles basically traded up to get Devonta Smith. I think if you're the Vikings, Justin Fields is going to land right in your lap. If you're not enamored with Kirk Cousins, which
Who is?
who really is enamored with Kirk Cousins? I agree.
I said random things and it would.
Yeah, well, no one really is enamored with Kirk Cousins. Giants are not going to replace Daniel Jones yet. They still believe in him. Dak Prescott just got that huge deal. Justin Herbert's a great rookie out of Oregon. So the real question is, I think it's going to fall right to the Vikings. Honestly, it's going to land in the Vikings' arm, Justin Fields. And the question is, are they going to pull the trigger? I really think they should. Honestly, poor Giants, they didn't get Devonta Smith, but I think Micah Parsons is going to land right in their arms. But let's go over some his stats real quick so we can go to his highlights. 2017, he had 8 catches for 160 yards and 3 touchdowns. Remember, Devonta Smith was in college a long time for an Alabama receiver. In 2018, he caught 42 passes for 693 yards and 6 touchdowns. He progressively got better, by the way. What is happening? Normally you show highlights.
Eli, drum roll, please.
2019, he had 68 catches for 1,256 yards and 14 touchdowns. And in 2020, 117 receptions for 1,856 yards and 23 touchdowns. So, Devonta Smith is a great player out of Alabama, but it's just really weird that they
Eli,
passed on Justin
drum
Fields.
roll, please.
I don't need a drum roll yet, Eric. Thank you for playing something on your phone.
It's 10 hours of drum roll.
Please stop 10 hours of drum roll, okay?
No.
So I definitely think Devonta Smith is going to take over the starting spot from Greg Ward, which I don't think any Eagles fans. Here, come on, please stop.
Fine.
I'll tell you when you can do another drum roll.
I'll do it when the pick is in.
Oh, yes, okay, but not immediately when it says pick is in. When Roger Goodell comes on the screen, you can do it, okay?
It's when the pick is in.
No, please stop. Travis Fulgham's decent, and so Jalen Reagor has not had a chance to sign, I believe. But I think it's definitely going to be interesting. Oh, Chicago traded that. Father, Father!
What
Father!
did you say?
Father! Father! He's not coming. But this is insane. Father! I think I know who might get Fields.
Redskins.
Oh, but someone just traded up to 11. The Chicago Bears.
The Bears are going to get him then.
This is a smart move if you're the Bears. Fields is just sliding right into your arms, and you can get Fields. You can get one of the better quarterbacks in this draft class. I think second or third best quarterback in this draft class, and they're going to be able to get him. And I think Andy Dalton's like, no, dang it. I wanted to start a whole year. I don't think he's going to get to start a whole year in Chicago. I think he's going to lose the first couple, 2 or 3, and then boom. Justin Fields is the starting quarterback.
Take 4 minutes. Too.
They're going to take all 4 minutes to figure out who they traded up to get. It's insane. I don't. You missed badly again.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a hard frisbee to throw, isn't it?
Yes, I keep trying. Yes.
I hate you.
No hate.
I know. I tried to hit him, and it just flew.
There's your phone.
You watch your phone.
Okay. Wait, what was I trying to show? I was trying to show Devonta Smith highlights. Where? Which one is that? Is it done? Here. Ow! Stop it! Open the refrigerator.
He tried to hit you, Daddy.
I'm trying to throw it in the fridge. Which one is it? I think it could be either of these two. Which one has more Devonta Smith highlights? This one has 6, 5. This one has 5, and this one has.
Zoom.
I'm any good. Oh.
Stop. This one has 6, so we're gonna go with this one. Are you guys ready to watch some NCAA football? Rose Bowl. The Rose Bowl's coming on. Well, not
The
really.
pick is in.
Well, Derek, stop. We're gonna talk about Devonta Smith for a little bit. Stop. Or I'll beat you.
Drum roll.
Stop, Derek. I will hit you.
What's it from?
Derek's phone. Tell him to stop.
That's supposed to be a drum.
Yes, that is a
I'm gonna
drum.
watch some ads. Oh my god, I hate how much the ads.
I thought you said the pick was in.
Well, it is, but they still talk about for 5 minutes before they actually.
Good Lord.
See,
How long
Devonta
is this gonna
Smith is
go?
an
I guess I'll go
explosive
watch a
prospect.
movie with Mama.
Yeah,
Well-
it goes on for 360 minutes.
See, that is what you get from Devonta Smith, an explosive player. He's very quick, not as quick as Jalen Waddle, which is why I had him ranked ahead of him as a prospect. Which, I mean, I'm sure Jonah knows. I told him about 1,000 times that I think Jalen Waddle's a better receiver than Devonta Smith is. But I do think Devonta Smith is a very solid receiver. I think he's going to
I don't.
make some good plays in the NFL, but he's at Alabama, so Alabama's always going to have some of the best receivers. And oh my God, how many ads are in this thing? I hate ads. Ads are my least favorite thing
Don't
ever.
love ads? That's odd, Eli.
See, it's not that he's great running deep, but it's just stop throwing noodles at me. Let's watch catch a slant for a 34-yard touchdown before we talk about Justin Fields for a little bit.
Oh, the pick is in.
The pick is in,
And
and
they
it's going to be Justin Fields. It's going to be Justin Fields. Like, there is no question to me. It's 1,000% going to be Justin Fields.
I hope it's not just.
Okay, it's not. It's. Man, Roger Goodell's slow at speaking.
And he is slow, isn't he?
Oh my God.
He's
Announce
talking
it
about
already, Joe.
COVID-19.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, shut up and just announce the pick. Oh, is it going to commercial? You're gonna leave us on a. You're gonna. Oh God, I hate you.
Careful.
I think I can say that about a random person.
No, you're not.
What? I can't despise Roger Goodell. Come on.
How can you say that?
I despise you, Roger Goodell. Well, we're gonna watch some more Devonta Smith highlights while this insane person just rambles forever. Deep pass. Okay. Oh, now. That's what Devonta Smith brings to the table. His ability to run routes extremely well. A lot of things. He brings a lot of things to the table.
Who's it? They brought somebody out to do the pick.
Yeah, I don't know who it is because the light's blocking it. But it's fine. We don't have to know who it is. Derek, do you know who it is?
Random person.
Oh, well, thank you for that.
Justin Fields.
Surprise. Yeah, I agree. It is a surprise. Who could have thunk it? But yeah, let's talk about the depth chart of the Bears for a second. First,
What'd they give up?
probably their first round draft pick. I don't know.
Well, obviously that.
Maybe next year's first round draft pick. Probably. Fields is their future, though. So now Andy Dalton is likely going to start at the beginning of the year, and then he's going to move into the backup position a few weeks later. So we're going to this is going to be actually interesting. I think it's going to be interesting. We're going to have Justin Fields, David Montgomery, Allen Robinson, Darnell Mooney, and Cole Kmet. It's going to be a fun offense to watch. I don't think it's going to be a playoff offense, but I do think it's going to be a fun one. I think Chicago just went from being one of the least fun teams to watch next year to one of the most fun, which I think is a pretty
Would it be okay if I escape and eat some ramen for a little bit?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, let's talk about some Justin Fields stats, everyone. Justin Fields. I only have 2 more cards over here because I only did a certain amount of people because I did them today. So, Justin Fields is
How
6'3".
many of those videos did you watch?
Only about, 37. I watched 7 full games.
So 14 hours of football.
Yeah. So, Justin Fields is 6'3", 228 pounds, and he's 22 years old. In 2018, he went 27 of 39 for 69.2% completion rate, 328 yards and 4 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. I'd like to remind you, this was his one and only year in Georgia in 2019. That was the year he transferred to Ohio State. That was the year he took them to the playoffs. He went 238 354 for a 67.2% completion percentage, 3,273 yards, 41 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. That was, in my opinion, his best year. Although him getting to the national championship this year was pretty good. In 2020, again, remember, there were less games, so obviously the stats aren't going to be exactly the same. 150.
Email to me. Oh no, just use that camera.
We're gonna use. Well, sorry guys. My camera ended up to plug it in. Go plug it in at the very least. So, my camera ended up dying. My phone camera ended up dying. So that's why you didn't hear my beautiful voice for a couple seconds. We're gonna be using the computer from now on until that's back up and running. It does take a lot of energy to run the program that is necessary to live stream and screen share, which I wanted to do for the thing. Never mind.
For
Okay.
the low price of $18.95.
It costs $0. Okay.
18.
That's back up and running. It does take a lot of energy to run. Please stop, Dirk. You're gonna end up breaking this.
So, yeah, I want to do a little bit of Justin Fields highlights, but I don't know if we'll have enough time. Well, I'm gonna try it anyways. We're gonna do it anyways, guys. I hope you're excited to watch some Justin Fields highlights with me. I'll find it real quick. Fiesta Bowl. Let me just so in screen. Hide that one. Go boom. Dang it, that's the wrong one. Oh wait, never mind. This one's the one we need. Hide that one. So yeah, this is what we're gonna go with. We're gonna watch a little bit of this. Okay, guys, so we're going to watch a little bit of Justin Fields highlights. That was Trevor Lawrence highlights. We're gone from that, so I guess I didn't get to show you guys this one. But Justin Fields is right here. So this was the opening drive. I think this is a very impressive play. So Justin Fields notices he's offsides, right? So he immediately snaps the ball. I think that's a very smart decision right off the bat for Justin Fields. You get 5 yards no matter what this way. So he's going to take a shot deep. It's going to be caught, by the way. That's a beautiful catch, but it's a beautiful ball, too. He throws it way up in the air for only the receiver to make a play on it. And, I mean, it's smart. If you draw a guy offsides, you're going to take a shot no matter what, and you really should. But so 2808 it's a play that not every – this is a huge J.K. Dobbins play, but I think not enough people recognize Justin Fields' contribution. Watch. He fakes this way, right? Without him faking this way, it draws 3 just enough outside that J.K. Dobbins can hit this huge hole up the middle for a huge gain. And this is a large reason why J.K. Dobbins gets this huge play. It's because Justin Fields draws this man out of position so that J.K. Dobbins can make this huge play. Was something I picked up on, and I think it was very impressive. It shows you Justin Fields' running ability. So this is a play. I don't remember. I think this is a bad play. Yeah, this was a bad play. This could have almost been a pick 6, honestly. That's the play that you need to work on if you're Justin Fields in the real life, because you can't do that. Okay, so there it is. Like I said, Parsons was not going to slip out of the first round.
Listen to your chat, Eli.
Well, I understand. I'm not listening to you, okay? You're bad in the chat. No one likes you.
Why? You don't want to break all the players' legs off?
Yes. No, I don't want to break their legs, obviously. But yeah, yes. So, like, did you think Parsons was gonna slip out of the first round? Come on. Yeah. Well, I'm excited. I really do love Micah Parsons, and I think the Cowboys just got a great player. It's interesting the Giants traded down, because if I was the Giants, I would not have traded down. I would have selected Parsons, because that adds so much to your linebacker core. It's not even funny. It would have helped your defense so much. But it's going to be interesting. He replaces Sean Lee. Yeah, I know that. Sean Lee is one of the best linebackers possibly I've ever seen in the Cowboys uniform. He was great. He had great leadership. I think I can say a lot about him. He was one of my favorite linebackers of all time. From when I started watching, I understand he's not one of the best linebackers of all time, but I loved watching him play in the NFL. And him being a Penn Stater did not hurt at all. But I'm excited. Parsons is a very good player. He's going to go to the Cowboys. I'm torn up about it, because I really love Parsons, and I think he's a great player, but rooting for the Cowboys is going to be so weird. I can't root for the Cowboys. Come on, son. Derek, turn that off. Well, screw you, Self. I don't care. I'm talking about what I want to talk about. I am going to talk about whatever I want to talk about, and that's kind of too bad. So okay, let's go back, I guess. I can't really pull up any Micah Parsons. You know what? I can't pull up some Micah Parsons highlights. First, we're going to talk about who I think the Chargers should draft, but then we're going to watch some Micah Parsons highlights. I've watched too many Alabama and Ohio State highlights for my taste today. We're going to watch some Penn State highlights. I really kind of want to watch some Penn State highlights. They're going to be fun. I love Penn State. So, but quick, let's watch. Let's look at the Chargers, who we think they should draft. But then we'll watch some Penn State, Micah Parsons highlights. Here we go. Los Angeles Chargers, everyone. Justin Herbert, obviously a great quarterback for LA. Then you have Austin Eckler, very solid running back. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. I think a wide receiver wouldn't be insane here, but I do think it might be a little bit too early considering there's not the great receivers in this draft class. There's some at the top, obviously the 3 that have been selected so far, and then there's some at the bottom. I feel like it's too early to draft Tony or Marshall or Rondale Moore or Elijah Moore or Rashad Bateman. It's really too early to do those. So I think maybe trade down if I'm. The offensive line isn't horrible, but I feel like Elijah Vera Tucker would not be a bad addition here, or Rashawn Slater would also help you. Make sure you want to protect Justin Herbert in the future, but I think Elijah Vera Tucker would work perfectly here as a great interior offensive lineman. That's really where they're weak. Brian Beluga's very good offensive tackle. Trey Pipkins isn't that great, but I feel like replacing Oday Abushi and Matt Filer and Corey Linsley would be very much helpful to this team. I'm not adorned with any of the corners this year. The 2 that should have gone early went early in J.C. Horn and Patrick Surtain. But I kind of like Greg Newsome, and I don't know why. The Virginia Tech corner's name is slipping my mind. But let's watch some Parsons highlights. We've talked enough about the Chargers. I think they should draft someone. Obviously, they should draft Elijah Vera Tucker, but they might. I mean, the Broncos didn't agree that they should draft Fields, so who knows? Who knows really what is going on? Let's watch some Micah Parsons highlights. Come on. There we go. Chrome tab. Top-rated linebacker in the draft. Micah Parsons, my guys. Watch some Micah Parsons highlights. Bow, bow, bow. Micah Parsons. Doop, 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 doop. Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is an amazing linebacker. I have to say it. It cannot be said enough. His ability to rush the passer, which I think is what you're going to see here. Yep. Pretty sure he's the one that hit the quarterback there. He is a great linebacker, and I cannot say enough good things about Micah Parsons. There's some maturity issues there, and I think they're not unreasonable to be worried about, at least a little bit. But I think you have to look a little bit past it. I mean, Micah Parsons just has so much talent, but I mean, Dwayne Haskins had a whole bunch of talent, and we all saw that. Yeah, I can't really show Allen Robinson. Oh, actually, you know what? I might show Allen Robinson highlights. I mean, I love Allen Robinson, but again, not in the draft. So we're going to finish this Micah Parsons highlights, and then once that is done. Oh, that was a beautiful. I forgot that play with Micah Parsons. That's a beautiful play to make sure he does not get in that end zone. Great play by Micah Parsons. Got to provide some analysis here, otherwise it's just not great. But yeah, again, I think it just shows Parsons' quickness on this tape. Like, look at him; he's in the middle of the field. He's gonna outrun Dwayne Haskins. I mean, that's not saying a lot. I think a snail could outrun Dwayne Haskins. He is horribly slow, but. Micah Parsons is one of my favorite linebackers in Penn State, recent Penn State history. He is so fast. He's so good. Watch, he's about to destroy Tanner Morgan on this play. Get destroyed, Tanner Morgan. You get sacked, bud. Get destroyed. See, that's what I think is it's a little bit weird. I love Micah Parsons, and I think he's a great player, but it's really difficult because he rushes the passer so much. He rarely drops into coverage. That's an example of him dropping into coverage. That could have been a pick right there. It probably should have been, if I'm going to be honest. Yeah, of course. It should have been a pick. He hit him right in the hands. You need to catch that, Micah. But his dropping into coverage, that aspect of his game, it leaves a little bit to be desired. And I think that's why he ended up slipping as far as he did. I thought Miami might have selected him that early. I mean, I understand why they didn't. Jalen Waddle was sitting right there, but I also thought Penei Sewell would have been a perfect fit for them there. But linebacker's a huge need for the Dolphins, and I think they're probably going to address that with their second first-round pick. I think they're definitely a team to watch out for next year, by the way. But Micah Parsons is such a great player. I think he's definitely going to bring some interesting ability. Yeah, Parsons can't catch. I agree. But he kind of needs to learn how to do that in the next level if he wants to be successful. I mean, pecks are huge for linebackers. Kind of need to be able to catch. Parsons needs to, I think he definitely needs to work on that aspect of his game. There's a lot of different aspects of his game that I think Parsons needs to work on. For instance, his coverage has been suspect for a long time. Well, Penn State, his ability to stop the run and his ability to rush the passer, they cannot be overstated how great at that he is. He is a fantastic pass rusher. He's in a fantastic stopping the run. But his ability to cover, it needs to be better at the next level. I mean, you're going to be going up against tight ends like Logan Thomas, Evan Ingram. Zach Ertz might even still be there in Philly. And at the very least, Dallas Goedert will be there. And that's just the NFC East, by the way. You're going to have so many more people to cover in the NFL. And those are tight ends. And I mean, that's who linebackers mainly cover, is either that or running backs. And I mean, if you're going to draw some running backs, it's not going to be ideal for you if you're Micah Parsons. You're going to be drawing Saquon Barkley. You're going to be drawing Miles Sanders. You're going to be drawing Antonio Gibson. So, I mean, you need to be able to learn how to cover, and you're going to need to learn how to do it quick. I love Micah, and I like a lot of the things he does, but his speed and athleticism is amazing, but he needs to learn how to cover. Otherwise, he's going to get exposed in the next level, and it's not going to be great. I love Micah. I love a lot of the things he does, but you kind of need to learn how to do that, Micah. But Chargers pick is in, but it's not like really in. They're going to talk about it for 5 minutes because that's ESPN for you. Mel Kiper Jr. is going to act like an absolute moron because that's what he does. That's really all he is. That's his job, is to act like an idiot. But I'm excited. I kind of really want to see what the Chargers do here because there's a decent amount they can go for. I like Parsons a lot too, but I mean, in camp, no, not good enough. Not good enough. He's going to have to learn a lot, and I think it's possible, but I think did they select? Oh, they were Rashawn Slater. Okay, that was my number 2. I thought they were going to go with Elijah Vera-Tucker. And I think that would have been a decent pick for them there. But Rashawn Slater's also a very good tackle out of Northwestern. He's a very good, solid tackle, and I have really nothing bad to say about him. So here's the real question. The real question starts about now. Where does Mac Jones go? And I think I think it's going to be interesting. Chat, tell me what you think. But I don't think he's good enough to go to the Vikings. He would work fine in New England. Honestly, he'd be an improvement over Cam Newton. Cam Newton can't throw 5 yards. So I think Mac Jones would be an improvement over Cam. I don't think Mac Jones is an improvement over Kirk Cousins. I don't know if anyone disagrees with me, but Cousins is good enough. Like he's not great, but he can get the job done. Like there's nothing bad about Kirk Cousins. There's not any huge mistakes. Who wants to watch some Rashawn Slater highlights? Honestly, I don't know if I really want to watch him. You know what? Let's watch some Mountain Robinson highlights. I think that'll be a fun thing to do because I don't know if we're gonna watch some Bears. Him with the Bears, him with the Jaguars. I think that'll be fun. I think this will be a fun thing to do. I don't think the Vikes should take him. I don't. I've seen some people say they should. I don't agree with that at all. I don't think he's good enough. I mean, I know it's not a lot of people are going to agree with me because some people thought he should go 1, which I mean, not 1. I mean 3. I mean, I don't agree with that. I understand he's immobile, but like again, is Mac Jones that mobile? He's not really. I'm excited for them to take him because I did watch a good amount of his film, and I don't want it to be a waste. But Derek, I understand that Derek might be enough. Let's see. The thing is, I think Derek being an upgrade over Cousins is a little bit of a stretch. Like, I understand that Kirk Cousins is not going to enamor you with his arm. He's not going to throw it deep. He's not going to own people like you want him to. But the fact is, if you send, I just don't know. I mean, the quarterback is always not going to look good in Minnesota. It's just a fact. They're not. The coaching is not there for a quarterback to be drafted and him to become good. It's just not there. He's not a good enough quarterback. It's just a straight up fact. I feel like if you draft Mac Jones, it's just he's gonna. I have a feeling. I mean, Cousins was good in Washington, right? I think we can all agree with that. I mean, he wasn't great, but I think that he deserved that it's just not true. I mean, he doesn't have a great arm. Like, I think we all can basically agree with that. But to call him a noodle arm, I think is a little bit of Adelaide. Guess who just traded up to 14? Pop. I think the Vikings probably traded down there, so we're gonna put the Jets there. But let's go Jets. What are they gonna do? Ooh, I'm excited. Anyone think they're gonna take? I'm honestly gonna look at their depth chart again because I want to see. There's a lot of positions I feel like you could fill. I don't think it's so. Again, Minnesota's obviously not going to take Mac Jones. And I think we can all agree basically with that. I mean, it's not going to get there to him now. So what do we do? I think it's very interesting. I don't think you drafted. I think you have to go Elijah Vera Tucker here. I think this is the spot where you take Elijah Vera Tucker. Linebacker is a possibility. I think it's definitely a possibility. I mean, defensive line is, I think a lot of them, this is the worst defensive line class I've seen in a long time. They're just not that good. There's big problems with everyone on the defensive line. Jason Owa. Yeah, I could see actually the Jets drafting Mac Jones to compete with Zach Wilson. That would be such a Jets thing to do. I don't understand how there's Jets fans that are actually excited about their team. I understand Zach Wilson brings at least a little bit of excitement, but there's just so much to fix on your team. There is so much wrong with it. I think you got to go. I think you have to go one of three players. I really do think that I think you have to either go. We're gonna protect Zach Wilson with we're gonna protect Zach Wilson with Elijah Vera Tucker. I think that's definitely something that should go through a lot of people's minds. I think it's a decent thing to think. I think Elijah Vera Tucker would be a decent arm. I understand he didn't do anything at Penn State, but his speed and athleticism are there. But if you look at this defensive line class, it's not great, and I think Owa might be one of the better ones. You have Gregory Rousseau from Miami, who is not great. I think he's a very overrated prospect. And then you have, dang it, I can't name another one. I know there's other defensive ends. There's another guy from Miami that's decent. But I think, honestly, this defensive line class is one of the worst I've seen in a long time. Defensive tackle is a straight-up joke. There's no one there. I mean, the real question is, does Christian Barmore go in the first round? He's the only defensive tackle worth taking in the first round. Then you have so I think you have to go Elijah Vera Tucker, offensive line, or you could go linebacker. I think Zaven Collins or Jeremy. Dang it, I can't pronounce his name. The Notre Dame linebacker. I think we all know who I'm talking about here. I got it's like Jeremiah something Owusa. I'm just gonna look up Notre Dame linebacker so I know what the heck I'm talking about. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Okay, so you could take him. He's pretty good. I can't pronounce his name, but he is pretty good. And then you have Zaven Collins. I think Zaven Collins is an underrated prospect, and if I'm going to be honest, he is phenomenal, honestly. If you watched any Tulsa last year, you would notice him immediately. He popped off like that. He is so good. He honestly is. And then I don't think the defensive line is a huge area of need with it's weird, but I don't think it's a huge area of need for the Jets. You have at defensive tackle, I believe Sheldon Rankins is. as a Saints fan, he was phenomenal. He was really good. I don't understand why we let him go. I understand there was cap problems, but I'd rather let a whole other bunch of players go. Sheldon Rankins single-handedly can stop the run. Quentin Williams is definitely progressing. If you watched the Jets last year, he's getting better. Carl Lawson's pretty good, pretty decent. I mean, he's not fantastic, but he's pretty good. You could use another guy on the defensive end, but dang, I don't think it's the guys there to pick at that spot. Linebacker's an issue. I mean, you have C.J. Mosley, but you need two other starting linebackers. Corner, you could use a lot of different positions, especially except for defensive tackle. I think that's the only position the Jets don't need on defense. Later defensive tackle wouldn't be stupid of them, but I don't know. I think the Jets should take either Elijah Vera Tucker. My picks are Elijah Vera Tucker. What am I thinking? Zaven Collins or Jeremiah Owusu something. I cannot pronounce his last name. I could not pronounce it if you paid me $1,000 to do it. It is so difficult. I'm really excited to see what the Jets do here. Caleb Farley is not a bad pick here, though. If you're the Jets, investing in your future, Caleb Farley would make a decent amount of sense here. Pick is in. Who do you guys think it's going to be? Put it in the comment section right now before it pops up, and it's going to pop up in a few seconds. Come on. You have time. I believe in you. You can put it in. The Jets are selecting. Roger Goodell is about to announce the pick. It is going to be... Oh, I don't know. It's going to take forever for them to put it. I am not going to calm down. I'm an excited man. My Puppers team is going to get a new player. Puppers is going to be excited. It's Elijah Vera Tucker. What did I say? You gotta protect Elijah Vera Tucker. I think it's just a necessity at this point. They add Elijah Vera Tucker. I think it's a smart move. Mekhi Becton's a very good offensive lineman, but outside of that, George Fant's decent. I would argue that George Fant's a decent. I would argue that George Fant's a decent offensive tackle, but again, the inside of the line needed a lot of work, and that's what I believe Elijah Vera Tucker brings. We're going to take the Jets away. We're going to put them back here. The Jets are not going to get another pick. There you go, Jets. Well, I didn't scout Tucker. Elijah Vera Tucker is just. I can't watch offensive linemen and know if they're going to be good or not. I don't know if any. It's really difficult. I think it's extremely difficult. Okay, so I think we can all agree. Wait. The Jets aren't drafting again, right? What's happening with ESPN? It's got to be New England. So I guess New England's clock is starting. I don't know why they have the Jets clock starting. It makes no sense, but it's okay. So I think we can all agree that Mac Jones is probably going to New England, and it's going to be interesting. I think Cardinals are going to have a decision to make. They have decided? Oh my gosh. Am I behind on ESPN? I don't think I am, right? Let me see. Okay. Yeah, I was a few seconds behind. I don't know how that happened. Well, I'm sorry. She's the one that selected that team. She had a chance to decide which team she wanted to pick. And she decided to go with It was so weird. Am I the only one that thought that? Like the Jets started counting down, and it started counting down for the Jets like they were gonna pick a second time, and then the clock started over again for the Patriots again. I am? How am I behind? I'm looking at it. It's live. I disagree. I think Roger Goodell's walking across the stage right now. I'm not behind. You call me so come on, son. You can't comment you're so behind and then expect me to not be a little bit scared. I thought I was seriously behind. I wasn't behind. You liar. You're a liar and a thief. You should work for the Patriots. So that's what I think. If you're gonna lie and cheat all the time, work for the Patriots. Let's see. Who are the Patriots going to select? I think it's got to be Mac Jones. So I'm just going to get Mac Jones' card out right now so I have it ready to go. And it's going to take forever then to... I'm not behind, you liar. Maybe it's just lagging up in Pennsylvania. It's quite possible. My internet's pretty bad. So I personally, when I'm recording it, am not behind. The TV is on track. But you up in Pennsylvania, you're probably... well, actually, you know what? I think we're exactly the same because the Pats just took Mac Jones, and you guys just commented that. So we're going to read some Mac Jones stats, everyone. Hope you're excited. So the Patriots have selected a quarterback. We're going to put them back here with the other teams. Mac Jones is... yeah, definitely. He's going to sit behind Stidham. Mac Jones is 6'3", 214 pounds, and 22 years old, which is 2 years older than, I believe, Trey Lance is, and 1 year older than literally every quarterback. At 2018, he went 5 of 13 with a 38.5% of... Oh my God, I'm not... 123 yards and 1 touchdown. Yeah, I don't think that's how Central Time works, so if I don't think I'm an hour in the past, I think it's just different times from where we are at. Yeah, I think you're wrong. In 2019, this is when he took over for Tua Tagovailoa at the end of the year. He went 97 of 141 for 68 with a 68.8% completion rate, 1,503 yards passing, 14 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Now in 2020, he had an absolute amazing year working with Devonta Smith and Damian Harris. So he went 311 of 402 with a 77.4% completion percentage, 4,500 yards, and 41 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. So very good year for Mac Jones. So let's look. Oh my God, the pick is in for the... We're going to watch as many Mac Jones highlights as we possibly can. I hope you guys are ready for it because I spent all this time watching it, and it's like they don't want me to share all that I've watched. I mean, I spent a long time watching all this game film. I'm going to share it. Let me find it. Come on. Mac Jones game film. SEC Championship. We're going to do that one. Wait. Bam. Okay. SEC Championship, my guys. We're going to go Mac Jones highlights. So let's start with this first one. 26-39. That's a beautiful throw. Honestly, there's not many throws where I can say that for Mac Jones. That's a beautiful throw. That's a very nice throw across for a flag route to Smith. Great pass by Mac Jones. Now, this is a bad pass. This is an example of what he did extremely poorly in that SEC championship game. This is a huge mistake. And luckily, Florida doesn't capitalize on it. That's a pick, by the way. That's behind. It's a bad pass. Luckily, this guy fumbles it at the end of the play because Florida they can't stop shooting themselves in the foot. But that's a mistake. It's a huge mistake, actually. Let's watch this one. I believe this is probably one of those wide open touchdowns. That's why I didn't really mark it that much. See, look, this is just the most wide open touchdown ever. I mean, if Devonta Smith is just that wide open, of course you're gonna hit him. Like, I mean, it's not. I can't communicate my thoughts of that. I don't think Mac Jones is that great. And I understand some people think he deserved to pick number 3. I think this is a round where he should have been picked. So I think this is a nice play by Mac. Oh wait, never mind. No, it wasn't. That was a bad pass by Mac. He floated it too much. He needed to throw more of a bullet type pass, try and get it in there. Well, I kind of have to show the highlights for analysis. So come on, son. That was a too big. That was a floater, and that was a bad pass by Mac Jones. This is a nice pass. I think this is more on Najee Harris, but it is on target. He runs a nice route, and there's something I changed my mind on while watching game film. I don't know. Changing my mind is kind of difficult to do. I normally am right. Like when I'm watching the film changed my mind. I thought Najee Harris was not. It wasn't a complete back. I thought he was a great up the middle back, not a complete back. He is a great receiving back. This SEC championship game changed my mind. He caught so many passes. He ran some nice routes. Like that route is extremely nice. I think this is more on Najee Harris than it is on Mac Jones' the pass. So we're going to watch one more Mac Jones pass before we talk about the Arizona pick. That's a nice pass. There's not many passes where I think if my quarterback made that pass, I would be impressed with him. That's a nice pass. His ability to move out of a crumbling pocket, run to the side, and then people think he's going to scramble, so then he throws it in between them. It's a beautiful pass. Perfect pass by Mac Jones. But we're going to talk about Zach Collins. I like his game. Zaven Collins is he was one of my favorite players. I was really hoping he would slip to the Redskins. So that makes me a little bit more disappointed because I really kind of wanted Zaven Collins. That Owusu guy is still on the board, so 2 more picks. He just has to make it past the Raiders and the Dolphins, and we should be fine as a Redskins fan. Derek, Dolphins pick next, so come out soon. Well, Derek's coming back. I hope you guys are excited to see Derek's expert analysis.
How long has the stream been going on?
Well, it's been going on a while, but it's
If
fine.
someone touched that mic, it's so hot by now, they die.
Quite possible, Derek. Derek, you want to go set up the phone?
No, it's not charged yet.
Go check the battery.
Yeah.
Stop throwing pencils at me, Derek.
No. It's only at 55%.
Okay, we'll let it keep charging. We'll switch back to the Titans.
Man, we're not even through the first set.
What are you talking about? We're halfway through. We're over halfway through.
So we're not even through the first set.
Set of what?
Like, don't they, the first...
Well, Derek switched his alliance once they did Cam dirty.
Oh, yeah, I mean...
Derek, do you want to talk about why you're no longer a Panthers fan?
Number one...
Derek, come over to here to the camera.
Number one, I realized Dolphins are just cooler in every way. That's just the way it is. Also, they like Cam Newton. I like Cam Newton. He was one of my favorite quarterbacks, but he joined the Patriots, which means he's dead to me. But I also don't like the Panthers anymore because they gave him no offensive line to protect him. And they just let him do all those run plays, and he just destroyed himself, and then they discarded him like garbage. They treated him poorly.
It's a very reasonable thing to think, Derek, and I agree. I think the Panthers did him very dirty with what they did to him. And you know what? Definitely seems like a Panthers thing to do. What a losers they are. Absolute losers. They discarded Teddy Bridgewater, too. Teddy Bridgewater isn't the absolute GOAT. Teddy B is my guy forever. What a winner. Teddy B is a winner.
Teddy B?
Teddy B. Teddy Bridgewater's an absolute Chad. He's a hero and, might I say, even a god. He is the golden god, as Derek would say. He's that great. This is a finishing card.
It carries the gods. The golden gods.
Well,
I have contained my anger.
Well, by the way, so thanks for the recommendation. It's Always Sunny is hilarious. It is absolute greatness. It is beauty in its most natural form. It is absolutely phenomenal.
Imagine if Mom was watching the stream.
She wouldn't know what that is.
I think she does.
I don't think so.
Wait,
Well,
wait a
Teddy
second.
Bridgewater.
Why do you have 3 viewers?
Well, because I have 3 people watching, Derek. That's how
Sophie
math works.
and Jonah
The Raiders pick is in. Zaven Collins.
and 2.
I don't know, Derek. I don't
Is
have
Mother
to know.
spying on us?
Mother. Derek has turned himself into Buster Bluth.
You bluster, blue.
I'm not
You
bluff.
bluster.
Teddy Bridgewater is one of my favorite quarterbacks. Honestly, not. It's not a lie either. I loved him in New Orleans, and I really wish he came back just to be our new QB. I honestly would love that. He was awesome. He's a check down quarterback, but I mean, I don't understand why you need anything more. I mean, maybe that's just me talking as a Drew fan. I didn't need anything more for many, many years. But I mean, I don't understand these people's need to have a quarterback that takes shot after shot after shot. They almost, I mean, they have Patrick Mahomes and they have some very good players, but sometimes they just don't work out. They just straight up don't work out. And check down players are always pretty good. They're decent. And I don't understand why you need a great player, great QB. Stop it. Well, the Raiders pick is in. I am excited. What do you think, Derek? Who do you think the Raiders are going to select?
I don't know. I don't know who's in draft at this point. Elijah.
I don't know who Elijah is. I don't know who
Elijah Moore.
Elijah. I think it'd be stupid for the Raiders to take. We're gonna share this screen for the Raiders. What their raw depth chart looks like, but I don't know if anyone else thinks this, but I don't think they need a wide receiver. Look at this depth chart. You have Henry Ruggs, John Brown, Hunter Renfrow, Willie Snead, Zay Jones, Brian Edwards. Tell me you need a receiver. John Brown is an amazing receiver. Hunter Renfrow is an amazing slot receiver. You spent a pick on Henry Ruggs. Obviously, you're not going to give him up that quickly. A first-round pick. Willie Snead is the definition of a guy who doesn't drop things. Zay Jones is a very speedy guy. Brian Edwards obviously has some things to go for him. And Trey Quinn is one of the better Mr. Irrelevance I've ever seen. So there's a lot of different talent on this team. And they drafted Alex Leatherwood out of Alabama. This makes sense, actually. Protect Derek Carr. You should be trying to get to the playoffs at this point. I think it should be a goal of yours to make the playoffs. I think it's a reasonable goal, too.
I don't. Why, you may ask? No one knows.
If you're not going to provide anything, Derek, you should leave. But
I'm
the
just
Dolphins
waiting for the Dolphins.
The Dolphins are picking next. So who do you want the Dolphins to pick? What position?
Why just no? They need a good offensive line. How's the offensive line?
Well,
Terrible?
not fantastic.
Yeah, offensive lineman. Just need a good one, and they'll just.
So there's definitely some positions that you could definitely need. Linebacker is a huge need. Honestly, it's weird. I mean, you have like looking at this depth chart, and I found it really weird. Emmanuel Ogbah is not a linebacker, from what I remember. He is very much a defensive lineman. I don't know why he's listed as a linebacker because I've never seen him play coverage at all. I've never seen him play a down of coverage. I don't know if anyone else has seen it. I have never seen him drop into coverage. I've always seen him rushing the passer. I don't understand why he's not listed as a defensive lineman. But let's assume that Emmanuel Ogbah is a defensive lineman. Then here are the starting linebackers. Jerome Baker. Now, Jerome Baker, I think, is an underrated linebacker. He's very solid. He's good at rushing the passer, that's for sure. I think he's a very good coverage linebacker as well. But outside of that, you have Benardrick McKinney, who they traded for this offseason. Shaq Lawson went to Houston, and they got Benardrick McKinney in return. He's a very high-energy player. Not the best player, though, just in general. And then you have Andrew Van Ginkel. Does anyone want Andrew Van Ginkel starting? I mean, it's a lot of fun to say his name, but he's not great. He's not a great. Why'd the Dolphins clock restart? Does anyone? That was weird, but okay.
The pick is in. Drum roll, please.
You're angering me, so calm down.
Why?
She keeps saying I'm behind, and I'm 100% positive I'm live. You're lying. Liar.
No, the thing is, there's some delay, Eli. Like, for instance, if I pull you up on mine, look at where you're at right now.
So calm down. She keeps saying I'm behind, but I'm 100% positive I'm live. You're lying. Well, it turns out you're not lying like I thought you were, Soph. But it's not my fault. It's my internet.
It says Alex Leatherman.
Did they draft that? That's 60% chance that's who they draft. They shouldn't draft him. Is he an offensive lineman? I don't think so. No, Alex Leatherwood is who the Raiders drafted, right? I think I'm thinking correctly. I'm almost positive I'm thinking correctly, so I'm going to stick with my thoughts originally. So let's talk about who the Dolphins desperately need. They could definitely use a lot of linebacker, and I'm going to stick with this until I possibly die. Linebacker is their biggest need. It is such a huge need. Corner is fine. You don't need a new corner. Xavier Howard, Byron Jones, Noah Benogany, and not to mention a very solid corner, and Nick Needham they found as an undrafted free agent. Don't need a new corner. I don't think you need a new receiver either. I don't understand why you drafted a receiver to begin with when you could have just protected your quarterback. Christian Barmore is still there, by the way, I believe. If I'm not thinking incorrectly, he is sitting right there for the Dolphins draft. Derek, who do you think they're going to pick? Who do you think the Dolphins are going to pick?
Jaylene.
Oh, Jalen Phillips, right?
Jaylene.
Out of Miami.
Phillips.
Oh, I guess I get it. I mean, he went to Miami. I guess he's going to go to Miami. He's not going to even have to move. He's just going to get to find his own place that's not his mom's. Derek would grab father.
Why?
The Redskins pick it.
Father!
Derek, just go grab him. I don't understand the pick. He is not that great of a defensive lineman to take that high. I don't see it. Christian Wilkins, you just drafted last year. Raekwon Davis is just 2 years ago. Raekwon Davis you just drafted last year. You're adding a guy, and then you have Emmanuel Ogbah, who arguably was a very good defensive lineman last year, one of the better ones in the entire NFL. He was phenomenal last year. So, I don't know what exactly you're adding. You're adding, I guess, another defensive lineman. I guess you're going to move Zach Seiler out as a starter, which makes sense. But, I think it was a waste. I think you could have gotten that Jeremiah Owusu. Dang it, I can't think of his last name, but that guy. You could have gotten that guy. And instead, yep, Micah Parsons is officially a Dallas Cowboy.
Oh, that's interesting.
He's replacing Sean Lee.
They got rid of one, got a new one.
Yep.
Okay. So who did the Redskins take?
Well, that's what we're doing right now, Father. We're going to talk about who you want them to
They
take.
had that guy from Tulsa?
Nope, he got selected by Arizona. This is
Where's the linebacker stuff?
what
No, I
this
just
is the
wanna
depth
know
chart.
Best linebacker available.
It's going to be Jeremiah,
Oh,
the guy from Notre Dame. Is still available.
That's who you would get. They're desperate for linebacker help.
No.
And they did a trade recently to, I think it was Eric Flowers.
Yeah, we just got Eric Flowers from the Miami Dolphins. That was a very solid pickup.
So that frees up their ability to go. So Parsons a Dallas Cowboy.
Parsons is a
So
Dallas
is he taking
Cowboy.
11?
He was taking he traded back with the Eagles at 12th. 11 was Fields. I don't know, a draft tracker maybe. Sophie called you an old guy, by the way.
Sophie?
Soph.
Why?
I don't know. She said, "Who's the old guy?"
Where's CC, man? I don't even see the camera.
It's right here. Well, no, it was just I was reading your comments, so it just wasn't live. Calm down. Dang. Okay, so I think obviously linebacker would be the need for Washington right now. You have Cole Holcomb, who is a pretty solid linebacker in his own right, but outside of that, you'd have a guy named Josh Harvey Clemens starting at linebacker, which I don't know about you. I've never heard of him in my entire life. So
I'm sure somebody has.
I was
But you're right. When your best pickup is I don't know, 6th rounder. What was Cole Holcomb?
Cole Holcomb's a 3rd or 4th rounder.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I think you definitely need to add one. I mean, Zayvon Collins is gone, but that Jeremiah Owusu, I cannot pronounce his name.
The Saints, when do they pick?
We pick
No,
after you.
4th from last?
Yeah. Well, yeah, 4th. Well, 1,
Third
2,
from
3,
last,
4,
I
5.
guess.
5th from last. It's just hold
Okay.
on.
Who goes there?
The Ravens, because the Chiefs traded their pick away.
Tell Sophie, call me old. I feel old.
Well, she can hear you. I hope you understand that. She's recording. Yeah. Well, I'm excited. I think a linebacker would be ideal here. Definitely need to replace. So I think the position. A lot of people talk about quarterback. I don't really think we need a new one. Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Are there any quarterbacks left?
Not of the top 5. You'd have to reach on
Mac
a guy
Jones,
like Mond.
Where'd he go?
He went to New England.
Oh,
Makes sense.
Did they trade up to get him, or did they
Nope, they got him.
Wow.
They sat where they were, and they got him. But then a lot of people say wide receiver too. I don't. We have Terry McLaurin. Obviously, he's one of the better receivers in the league, in my opinion. I love Scary Terry. And then we signed Curtis Samuel out of free agency. I think he's a
Notre
very
Dame linebacker guy is supposed to be good. That's who I would pick.
There's also this guy named Christian Barmore. I'm pretty sure that's his name. Who's a left tackle, I think, for Virginia Tech. He's supposed to be very good too. I'm excited to see if we draft him. I think he's one of.
Oh, the pick is in.
The pick is in. Who are the Redskins going to draft?
Now they're going to go do their jibber jabber.
They're going to jibber jabber for a little bit. So if we draft a linebacker here, who do you think we should draft 2nd, 3rd, later on in the draft? What do you think if we get a linebacker is our next position to need?
Probably safety, right?
I'd like to provide some depth at safety too. I think corner could also use a little bit of a. I think we could go all linebacker for a lot of the draft, and we'd be fine. I mean, really, I would love to replace John Bostic on the starting roster. I'd love for him to become a backup and just kind of a depth player. I think he'd be a pretty good depth player. I don't think he'd be a great just starting linebacker. I don't want that. Josh Harvey Clemens, I definitely don't want starting. I love the pickup of David Mayo in free agency. He was a solid linebacker for the Giants last year. All right, so who are the Redskins going to draft? The NFC champions. Who they get? Oh, Jamin Davis out of Kentucky. I think this is a pretty solid pick. I would have taken Jeremiah Owusu. I don't remember the rest of his name, but I think Davis is a very solid pick.
What is he?
What? He's a linebacker from Kentucky.
Oh.
So we get a linebacker to fill that Josh Harvey Clemens position. I think he's a very solid player. I think I would have rather cheered.
234 pounds. It's kind of light.
Yeah, he is a light linebacker. The fact that guy's just sitting around still is pretty amazing. Jeremiah Owusu. Dang it, I cannot pronounce his name. But the Notre Dame linebacker's still sitting around. I think this is a very solid pickup. I'm glad that we didn't move up to try to get some guy. Okay, bye, Father.
Good night.
Good night. Say good.